Yesu ribo aye furu ribo beba oh mi yaritina jamama ni unutina yarisa foni yamio Grammy yaritina jamama ni unutina oh yarisa foni yamio beba mamenyamuto Eradini mirafo Yeri yamio Not the grand and the dear yami Eyamba obi benya we free adia Yemi adia joy Yari so funny when ya Iti miamba na yadia kama shedemi Yadia iti madofu po umidani Risa mi bana mi wanso Mi se mi bana mi wanai Yeah, mi bana mi weni Yadia iti ene shwe ni na shrimpi rati Yeah, na shasi anya yase Ariye yani asem no Yari safoni tridiam pon kwa mewa fon Jehovah Beka sama menya uto Rami yari tina Jamama ni urutina Oh, yari safoni yami Beba mamenya uto Rami yari tina Mabebre seyo Mama ni unu yintina honko sita Majingu kwano beba mamenya uto
Midi mi sabe tu manona Be como sheminya mieni Mirini como chirini pama Mi dono ni pebe mano Asayri so pai so te se denara Mobi mi ma uchirini ne Mi shafu mi bafu ni jifone no Obeka sama menya uto
Ube tu midi uzaka mini pedie Ebya mire ni mimampo beka home Ube tu miase meja padie nina Nesu mikra padie sita iwubua Kana udie jubua Echenya mimani diye senkaneno Sanse wini mabre chichi sebuti Sitafu maweni inyi mamani iwawai Nami yari enu chrese masei Enyami enu chrese minye nipo Nami kwane tumi sisa shebreti Minim sobe tumi ya sisa mamani Miyadi enti ya mususu nyojume Mamani unti ya mususu ntitime Na yari safoni Israel nyano Ejabe kasama menya uto Rami yari tina Jamama ni unutina Oh yari safoni nyamio Beba mamenya uto Ada sape mobro Hey Yoni papa nyeni mgwasye Biare woda ebinu manijeda Obisu no nebiso sere Sape ya yari ada bese de subonte Appreciate ya sa watri Aya onya yari safo Mesi wabre onya kama fobia Yesu Kristo sani ya diape Hey Osina safa wakatenanti Farasi forti asemi ya watiko kumpa wega Wafe Se waswa kete umida Enti sada sape moburo sei Nyoni pape minyo Semi kracha nsi namjaso sresre diani etie Ope meni mgwasi ajidi Nesu se nyanku ponti asina Misu mikrati asie Evradi nyanku poroti na himyasu Ejabe kasama menya uto Oh mi yari tina Ejamama ni unutina Oh yari safoni yami Beba mamenya uto Abrabo munsemenko yentina Enya twi bebrebe Nyamiti asie beye wate Beba mamenya uto Misi mapim swa kwa menim Me mama be mumuda me won't cry me when he does so Remy Yarintina my baby say yo na mama ni unu yintina home consider na jinkwano beba mamenya muto ampanya mitumi so aka nikuntum sin yanko reda kona aka para wetu mienyi no aka nikuntum sin reda kona aka nikuntum sin why cry, that is a young coupon. Hey, why cry, that is a young coupon. The cheat for being not a new so be any oh, yeah, Alpha, the Omega, Yamin. That's why a cow being Tiasia. It's a mini over Yamia Samo. My young Senachi Yami Pianio. Baby Felicity for Niyami my Israel ko Omo di Israel sun kunim Di enansu wani onyami sun kunim Enti Felicity for Fanyami apam dakanu koye Nensu wanya baby amfansi se Obosun kesi enda bonche Jese washishe okun kesi Adie china ye koya Dakona ne nimbu tu femi Jese wentu nyene nyami enim Unya kupon dinkunim Ye mani sujina ni naiso Adie china ye koya Dakona ni sebuboi Dakona ni tiatie Dakona kakuntusia Unyankupo dinkunim Eyampa tumi yarenio Ae chenya mitumio Dakona Unyankupo dinkunim Atofunya mi watumio
Echi chame meba just 1 minute pepepe ninyina now they like it now they say jumedie no ama me yenkotie yendache na yemra
adiachi mesi obiara limo na se bebiso Ijanya kuponko alini Adiachi yo Ampa adiachi yo Enyina na yata soryo Ijanya kuponko alini Adiachi yo mama Ampa adiachi yo Adiachi yo kuponko alini Tina media mesi Misumi dachi
Misumi dachi
Media misumeri Mama Yesu ya dachi wati Mama Yesu ya wiyo Say baby Mama Yesu ya dachi wati Mama Yesu ya wiyo Ampa diachi Yenyina na diachi ye Na say baby pade Mama nyanku ponko alinim Ampa diachi Yenyina na diachi ye se baby Mama nyanku ponko alinim Dadi unkwa na wunimu dia Medeme usha unso Mabura bonyina wa unsem Mikwa yina nsu wa unsem Dadi unkwa na wunimu dia Medeme usha unso Aye mabura bonyina wa unsem Mikwa yina nsu wa unsem Isese baby pade Waneni mo se baby aradi Unkwa na wunimu Inti debia masemuni anapebia mitumi miswesu mebi misumeri Mama Yesu ya dachi wati Yesu ya wiye media misumeri Obia sora na pahima Wakrasa okwaba ye obesa bedrufia semi Nyankopon kwanenim Obia sora na pahima hima Wakrasa okwaba obesa bedrufia semi Nyankopon kwanenim Eti Peter can send me Sister Peter can send me Wine chain kwa na yenko Daddy wine chain kwa na yenko Unawo wadan kwa sem Say baby, say baby, say baby, say baby So daddy ukwane wini Gifti ebesi misenyo Aye baby misenyo Asemwe wine anymore, wine anymore Mama Nyankopon kwane nim Nti debia masemuni Ana baby ya medunye Miso Sumeri Mama Yesu ya dachi wati Kristo ni abodu ya he Jaka ye yo ama O Kristo ni abodu ye Mama jadi abwe wati Yesu dachi suwari ye yo O Kristo ni ya utumi ya ka he Ampa Jaka ye mama Jadonko yinom na
All right, Jai Adonko yinom Misu mewiye. Ebusia mama yemo empire na yense yenkomo no ase esanse. Ebre eni ho ema yensa. Mema munyina akwaba. Ubia hotisen mesremo. Munyima no ubiara biara ehotisen. Facebook for moba aya montan na mo hoadi. But ebeye ama me say me recognize my presence enti mesremo. Maba, you like the transmission and then you share and then just give me high five and a hello mean to me amount akwaba na yen share yen komono ase. Eni die moma yemo erade empire esanse enkomo wi ehiama adwendwen. Obadi Nyankopon ene kwesi dada edi kan na wotwi mu yehiem eba bididi ye ho nkomo yeda wasese wode ye nkwa ache yen na wama ye nidaso ewo mu se yewu achimpo no se bremu ye giwudi a yengu ye benya nkwa enonchi yeda wase edon mu ye ba beko ensemi mu ye ba be pensen ba mu ewu ne dwumadi ene ahuntasemo a ebata ho ye mpanifo aka kire yense obra etwawu saa semi wasem nso esisudua se ampa etwase onipewu na niwu achi no atemu eda ho ema no dom ne ma yenti aseye ma yehunumu minu no ma wo mani mi ewo nsemi ho misrawo ene wasiesie ma no na wo ma me kwan a mefa so a ekyerechire nsemi mu ama won ate won ho ase na aginaye esese yesi as asofo aginaye esese yesi as ankrankre yatumi esi sa aginaye no na boa ama yimpuntuo atiasefo asase yiso na si free hanom konso a ye ne wankwankunya akwansidie bia emma ye ma wo nchen dom ne kan ye ho enanwumri wodoba yaso ademunti amen agidifo nyina enye meso amen pa Evangelist Samuel Nyako is live with me on the Facebook. Mesre say RTP crew mababi dudia auditorium hono monso TV noe. Na womo a any smartphones no omuntumi have access to. Adisua na yebisua no rate afosu and so joining me on YouTube for enumeri enkomono. So we're doing a brief series on death. Eye owu. There are many questions that people tend to ask. One of them is, what is death? Edeni uwu. And then one of the questions I will also be answering in the course of the series is, what happens before somebody dies? Ediebe nesi ansana obi ewu. Afi ensembisani biya ebano bother on premature death. Eye atofu. Ebi so bother about natural death. Se onipe wu kura ediebe na isi ni wu nachi. Ekobani se obi wu na yensie ni ntemu a ediebe ni free muba. Yesie no nkura mpo na yesie ni ntemu so a ediebe na efree muba. Eye den ena obi tumi ye samantwentwen na obetete abusunyafo. Eye den ena so obi wu a wewu ma yesie ne dededa enso obesonda ye no utumi hu owufo no ewo dayem. Enkomo bebre ena ekoso efa owu hu. Na nimdia ye wofa ho no nso isa. Enti yeto abeseno de nanso mesan afa akwanya yi so. Na ensemisa hudo bebre a ekoso nipa pi adwen mu efa owu hu no. Matomebo ase achirichiri mu kakra kopem se ye nyina yebenya ye ho ntiase. In fact, honam famudie se wone odofo ntem etiti a eya. Nanso to the departed soul near all kono die eye asempa ene asemdede edemano. Depending on abraba oboye ewo atiasifo asasi so. In this episode, no minimum be discussing the processes unipa fem and sana doctors medically declare say wewu. Because even when doctors declare say ubiewu, wewunsu ongui. And wewunsu ongui. We're going to go through the process. Na ansana you be go through the process, no. Mewo kokobo baako a yeshie mu ana ye kasade afa the clothes or the garments of the dead body ewufuo entade ene ontoma no kokobo baako efa entade ho a epa meniso kakra mepese medisa kokobo no ebeto ho na so ye obadwen ma na wutie mi a hwiye na wanye sade bi onkwana aka atiasefo asasi so na saa wone no nso ekoma yen asorefo yen ekristofo. One say Hosea kan sembi ewo Hosea 4:6 osinimdi a memman ninti oman no eyira. For lack of knowledge my people perish, or my people are destroyed. Enema bebre owa isan se yenni wunimdi enti no yeye ne de ohaw abrayin kokobono enisen obete hu se emprempren ne ekoso wo Ghana ha ene ebibrim aman bebre ne se ye kwa sori a obia se natade die obifra kabanisiri ne entomesie guso eye na odeko na ye wo this habit apart from se obia she natade na wako hia demo anason demo no oma san akwa kope entoma oma pimpam entoma asori ni tumi etisika ekoto materials ne ye twitwa ne entomesin na yedi akwa kugu asondem ho sign to mesin no omo de hye oshes for ninsa omo a eboama osoma adwuma no entotoye within the setting of the service no ekoso no na omo de saa entoma no ahye ulcers ne nsa. Omo de hye ulcers ne nsa atwen den. Omo de hye ulcers ne nsa atwen deliverance time. Mumu bebre amowo prophetic ministries. Any prayer ministries, a common phenomenon. A idea a kosopa during the course of their so-called deliverance. Now, those deliverance sessions, according to them, a demonic and evil possession deliverance. It normally the omo yene say entomano oma provide wason dem ono. Nipa na yesi oye demon possessed ahomonia senema. Eti yeba be deliver no, yeba be jine frisa ahomone ni nsem no. Na ye de san to mesi no oma provide wo dem akwa kutwan nipa nimu. Most especially a man. Because a very rare, a very difficult so be who say the sign to men sin be a chain obey mem and I diabo obey masin. Is an so obey ma the enya denya or send trousers enya dia no be go. Echi aya nen to mano and come my memano. Most of the times what I've seen with my eyes and on TVs, aya a comma a mano. A mano near this end to my scene we. Echincho mumu senye beya se otitwa sebi na deje munye den engu ana ne hu enna. Now let's look at the procedure. Yesi nipa na homoni asenema. Ahomoni ku asenema de meme kwaku minimu. But odi for na the only the prayer and deliverance session is say oye demon possessed. Obi so yesi ya mantam no edina boduyam ichi esese ye deliver no ne san ni free sa mantam nim obi so ya chechire no dina kwa akose baby a only God knows the prophet discovered obi so yese ya saman uwu edi amano obi so yese ya toyare edi amano obi so yese ya boni duya Matiemu ho because eho no meyam seme obi so you say yaboni dua. It's all these spiritual issues, I have already told you, say spiritual matters, they are way too complicated to be explained. Or this physical or this material or gross world. We are see we mo hu ma semono ne kano ne nchire chiremu no eto de bia eyeden because eti seni obakofo akuna oba beka gidi ewom na ya nisa eti na mato mebu ase ebobo sanse mi so na se wunim say dwumadi ya ekoso this so called deliverance na entuma bi enemu ayede emfemfam ho no kai say the first person entuma ni twa na nemu no yesi yaboni dua Duyabon so say nane now the who bate nipa na isan etumi nyam nipa na yabo ni dua na ye ba be deliver no nia break duyabo no ye de ntuma no twa ni mu wia next person ye mo ni dua no se ntuma na ye si ye deliver no no ye de etwa ni mu ana ye de abona sen no na ye de san ntuma no so aba be fra the next person owo different issue ye ba be deliver no. Now, one more must send me mobo those, poor horses. Horses no mugu demo, amonka deliverance people no, one more be deliver, amonka home. Utimi find to man no dear gunikum, or baby ye dear con next person. So I sit back behind the screens and I ask myself, do you people even understand what you are doing? Do you know the repercussions of San Tomanoa? They claim some ye possessed. If it is indeed the situation they explain to be. I am be a Christo for me de mebusamu. I say mo hu Christo abroso. Mo hu Yesu abroso nyame beye no. Jimie no yado so too much. Enji me pese mebusamu. A deep for now, omu lead such sessions na monia jewa Ye ntoma na free ni yabo ni dua ho. Na ye ntoma na free di ato yare ama no ho. Na ye ntoma na free di ono no yade boni ababeto no so. Sorry. Die yasamai owuo. Edi ama no no a yade ntoma na twan ma ye free ni so. Na mame yade ababe sie wo so no. Do you have any idea what you're doing? So we need any idea. I am supposing say by mere, expatiating the matter no what the me person me can say. Me did say what doing akwa kudru baby ya me kono. Mumu bebre ma kwa ko fadu yabo. E di free ason dem. Mumu bebre premature death atofu ason dem na mokofa no. Emma ni titiru oba no de aba be kanikunu ni konti ni baby ya odwen ho no okofa this one free and to money mu wiya o sano ono onim se saa niema na ekoso no ipra no edi ninya no onim no okofa no de aba be san na busuafo ejisisi ade de moya ade wo ne se mokọ asori kofa problems na mo de aba busuanim na womo anka omu nim ho hwe oma ba bituaka mesremo santo manoa edi ehima during deliverance every we so na eko we so no say ampase ye boni dua na ye deliver na don't be fooled. Okay, don't be fooled. Just as the soul of a departed person necludes ebeye habitat ebeye baby a ahonhomoni nyina atumi ekote. It is a work of fasha edi o how brew no. Sana the so-called people who are possessed, you are receiving their possessions. Adekodia spiritually ebata no ababeye embodied. Ababeye meka embodied a attached to the subtle body and attached to the gross body or material body. Ababeye attached to the soul, ababeye attached to the body. Because there is a connection between the body and the soul. The cervical cord or the astral cord now connecting the soul and the body. No, any garment that comes on you, any spirit of possession that comes upon you, it is transmitted in the clothes. Odie obetumi atna video nechi no wakase menyini. It is absolute nonsense. There is no scientific explanation to what the Osofo is saying. Go and do your scientific calculations and your scientific research and leave me to talk about the spiritual matters. Unyinia. Whether say ujidi na unyini doesn't change the rules of engagement. What is there in the spirit? And most of you, it is ignorance that is killing you. Ignorance that is killing you. So if you don't know, so be a draman for now kofana tadisa a draman. Simple. So whatever we are about, whatever is semna a deep for ne cannot yet descend to messing be a chin kind a mano. Asing yadi bubo mumu namon so all says mudi gomukum obi to be the gunikum say the next person be delivered and no ye no aside their children. You are only transferring the problems amongst yourselves. It is some of you, you went to the church with just a single issue. You left there with more serious and detrimental matters. And niema ebe kumwo, ebe sewo. Yari ananka wunye bida, and to mesi in the muno, wakwa kufa. If it's a size soon sumo yari no mu free no muno, a yawo na obejeye. A sign to money bigu so, yet be chanmu. Or ye no kujeni mano a man in sasso. Na osa ne dinchuma na ba betwa mu adenti na mon senta dia ese fata na mon fankwa sori samon ta de fon ne mun sei hunu na mudi no ehu amane e na makwa akofa no ichi. Even before I start with my discussion for tonight, ma memfa sa kokobo wi eni anim so kwa sori bisa to hufo. Be advised and understand near air ko krem, understand the air babumu, just because of entume simbia, a sorry no edia guhonum, na the air moboni say, Santo mano omo the ye deliverance ni wia, omo to me the gu ason demo, and so the proper process ni say, every session biano, omo de Santo mani bipi no makwa kusi. Omusia na insu no omohwiegu outside the church compound. We die etumi gu ho ebenada. If you are the omusensia the same thing. It's a dining mu ankasa no eye evil possession. It's a diner also wo kwa koji deliverance na ankasa no. Ahomoni na je diner boso. Nimdia me nindi. Moyira. Medie me kamwe huntasem. Senka mu betie kokobo nsemi ya enkebebo amu yehu free say dwumadi anim. Separate yourself from it. Laying of hands, don't accept it. Shaking of hands, don't accept it. Transfer of the same ntoma, don't accept it. And yanom, be very, very mindful. Now, regarding this same cloth in tomane adiadieno. Sebetumia asema meke tiemiye. Ebetumia tiemiye. Anytime be a obeko hospital, especially a painful amoko antenatal, muamon famontumesi enko. Why? Fauntumesi enko. Ebeye ntumesi no famiyinu. Okay? Famiyinu. Minim hawa mo amoko public hospitals no minim senye e won society. But the same bedspread obi koda so unim de nipa ne carry enodinam. Me say nyankopon pe ene bo nipa ho ban because the ignorance is just too much. The ignorance no just too much. Ubi to me kwa was or maybe you ubekum unim ni ubekum no bed spread noa sa hospital sheet no amodi say adie ne so no yanhoro yensi, because the moment clothes ebe enter into soap and water, there is cleansing, there is purification. Now so akwa da so me yako. Sem adie no da so sheet no da so no we live how do I put it? What transfer what or will they into it? It yebeya ho okwa found to machine appeal for amoko antenatal family. Okay, if you want to be very critical, busa say sheet in yasesa ya free so for to machine now they call necessary. That's who we are forward ye never call. The other one no Fanuchan was saying, don't use the hospital one. TMA kum na se upiniya hospital hono eye wo nkwa enwe djuma enkwa nemu na akwakoye. You have every right to use your own clothes when you go there. That no nurse, no doctor can tell you what to do. In fact, the American, it applies to guest house. Yes. If the bedspread is not changed, now kodaswa. You must make sure say it is a fresh one. It has been changed. If you want the best, if you know you're going to use a guest house, get extra seat. Okwa yidi wasumi free so. Faodi necessary. Neda. Ensem bebreu na nienti American science emwe ni onipa binum wo ho a spiritually no you are down. Muni ya hoden. Muni you are not weighty. Eniema bi somumu a ebetumi abringe mo down. Mumu bebreu wa mani maye nifrafo. Munim ni eko munim ne yeba eti ye kwa ye ba nyina esan bebiri ene ye nenam eno nti na wo asase so a anka ne papa mu no som onyankopon no a obetumi atwitwaje wo onyankopon no a oye ade bia asase ni mfimfini na wieye enso oni asase eni mfimfini eni awieye enso ade bia oye na asase eye ni mfimfini esaye na wieye senke betumi a saa gwankobia no that safe haven no anka som sai nyankopon no nokrem ani hunhumu ne di ni nseseye so to a large extent no obebon ho baye free saa ne me ya mebobɔ no bebre so wo a onya me som nye wo a ompai bonye Kristo som aya akosi amman enkoa a ye frɛ na akosi amankwa nya me som na bi na wokuram Brambo bi eni ho daresin bi eni ho siehunu bi eni ho nimde bi eni ho sorry a oni nemwiase ni musa ne yankoa ne beto de ni enyan na obesia ensensam ne amane a enye wo dia ene ba besia obra kwantuemu. Life is a teacher, and so when you get the opportunity to listen to a wise man, pay attention and listen carefully. Enye de bia na obesi obi a obebiebie ne bebie ni so dia kyerɛw ahweyiye wom 1 Peter 5 verse 8 Awurade asɛm ne se momma monim na ho efisɛ motamfo bonsam no n'ani abre obobom se gyata opedi obinya no amene no ɔbadwe ma ɔwɔ aso no ontie asɛm a mekan na ɔnhyɛ ne nso saa nsɛm yi a mabobɔ so yi a mese ɛyɛ kokobo yi se open yi a som nyankopon yi to husi oma onyamesompa. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy, keep the laws and the principles, the statutes, emrebia onyankopon asisama no hwe ne diso ne bom modern se asasi su obeye onipa papa. Be a person of good deeds, ma enyumapa adwempa akomapa sane manmanini wanim abribia. Think no evil, conceive no evil, do no evil, cause no trouble, make no trouble. These are some fundamental rules. Odinam abraboimwa to a large extent. To a large extent. But precautionary motives indeed. If you're going to use a guest house, please get your own seat. All right? Your own seat. Change the seat. If you are not sure, say it is a fresh one, change the seat before you sleep. If you're going to the hospital, especially a painful antenatal time, during the time of labor, normally they don't the seat they change it because every labor they change the seat. But be very mindful and kaisei what you when next you are entering the hospital, when next you are entering any public facility, a use sheet a yen and toma in tam near the idea. Anytime you are entering a public facility, make sure say obekai asemwa and you mri makachero na shenin so papa efamami isan say one ya ubi ebesisa God's program lineup for your life. Now, adenti na meka sasem wi. Se metumi akyerem kakra bi ama wate asia onipa. You are made up of two main components. We me conclusion. Se meka se me bonitofa onipa biya. You are made up of two main components. You are just like the computer. You are just like the computer. Now, what is the composition of a computer? Two main things. Computer and the composition are two main things. The two main things, if you care to tell me, YouTube, Facebook, no. If you care to tell me what are the two main components of a computer, two main things. You can't computer. Two main things. Under the two main things, you will the subset and an inchichemu ewo ho. Momo wine and obetumi briefly aka ediamame. Na minyina so emfamo enim komon for yenipedua. There are many things about yenipedua no we need to understand. Enti da bia masema make can say said the onyankopon waye me no waye me a capable leader. Eti die obebu me na odimi beye bribi na obetie masem no obeje ne ho afri niema bebree mu. Esan say me nim komo abonten me di me nkomo bra matena se ana me gina pulpit nechi a esese me boa onyankopon ma. What are the two main things, two main arms of the computer? Okay, ebre ninti mi ame de bebo me ho. We have the hardware and the software. Every computer be a two main dimensions, divisions. The hardware and the software. The hardware no the hard components of the computer. But guess what? Sa hardware ni na the bema na ye useful the software. It is a computer the very very crucial for every computer the software, because software ni break it down say pe no say software ni break it down say pe all the hardware useless. And for so be any so yakoye ni pay wonam body ya this material body, this gross body na hunu the hardware untini unompe the nose, your ears, your eyes, and those things ni all of these utility all of them no hardwares. Guess what? They're running this hardware. The software. It is the software. And what is it? Spiritual matters, metaphysical matters, and not running this hardware. If you don't pay attention to the software, you will break down. It's as simple as ABC. This is how it is. It is spiritual things, a dozen. It is just 1%. The yemfa yeni who are running the whole universe, 99%. And this 99%, the software applications are running the entire universe, running your entire human system. Inside of you, there are processes you cannot touch, but they are happening. How can you touch your senses? But there's a program installed in your system. Running. How do you maintain your body temperature? There is a software running. And the software very, very important. If you don't pay attention to the software, you're going to break down. It's a material body out in Namui. There are so many spiritual and niyama connected nipedua way emane function. A be a virus this material body nim. Na babe say it will be say a hospital mpake na mekoda so you been to makeke and be frame. You have forgotten say there are software applications everybody is running around his human anatomy. And supposing somebody's software and application na all running a virus to your system a beba be round a baba be kum a beba be break you down. It is a obetie me asopemua. This is not my discussion for tonight, but a warning medema. Say tobuase. Tie de mekano. Me pacho minim se wonim se me. Matthias ye. Minim se wadwe mu abie se me. Matthias ye. Minim se o ye biomedical scientist. Matthias ye. O ye microbiologist. Matthias ye. All your scientific niema no nim na o de fa. Why? But in semna mekano. Whether you are a microbiologist, whether you are a biomedical scientist, whether you are a biologist or whatever, it doesn't change anything God has designed. Any installation unyankopon put in place to run the entire universe plus your material body, it doesn't change anything. Ignorance has killed a lot more people than the HIV itself. Ignorance has destroyed a lot of people's lives than poverty. Ignorance is a serial killer. Nimdia me main ninti. Obre. Oira. Etimesremo. Kokoboyi. Sheninson. Be mindful anytime you are entering a public, space. if there are seats you're going to use. One more a provided towels near the they say for people, if it is possible, use tissue. Don't go and use a hotel towel. Don't go and use hotel carry your towel around, carry your sponge around. It doesn't hurt to carry them around. To a large extent, be conscious of your own security. Okay? Your spiritual security, your physical security, be conscious of it. Be mindful of it. Send your beya. Nyankopon no the human factor no so na oye odie. So what masia inshirane erade moawo no nka ho na penya mesompa na sum nyame yi na jai enkwara adwene eni jimi na emfa wo nkosi hwe ahanom ena mede mafutuo no ebesi me home so 30 seconds na afei yenhye yenkomo no ase. There must be an INT'L to prepare your mind for the real message for tonight. Thank you for listening.
Amani hunui, usuni amani hunui, Yesubepuwe amani ningara tuwejo, usuni amani hunui, ampao, Yesubepuwe amani ningara, ampa debiribo.
Asemna meka ye no se wo bi a oye dwuma e wo hospital a oye nurse ye calling se dwuma no amoye no nursing for mo amohwe ayarefo empanifo nurses and doctors mo amoye se dwuma no mo ti sa sofo pepepe. You are dealing with so many spirits. You are dealing with so many spiritual issues. You have no idea. First, say anytime you meet somebody at the facility, you are meeting a different spirit. You don't know what the person is carrying around. Because obi kura ye boni duana eye no fone na eto de bia otumiko ayaresabia. You have encounter with those people. It is as deadly and dangerous and warring as asofo yeduma yeye. Yenimujina the same scale. Okay? Ebia yedie no ye a bit weightier. But modie, most often than not, you are having physical contact. It is you will be a send ye be a communicable, mutumi wuntem, moye front line for mutumi wuntem no. So for the ebia meti meye mejuma. But I don't have any physical contact with people. Ebanisa, to a large extent, I'm safe. Even at the church premises, say me wo esoro and a pulpit, netina meni obi benya physical contact. When I decide to speak or dialogue with a person one-on-one, and maybe I'm in benya physical contact. But more juma or hospitals, nursing homes, you have no option. Munni any option. You have direct access because in Nipano upe impo obetachino. Upo umpo as I said the material the gross way no and no. You will be exposed to them. What do you do? So modie and Sesa Mekatera say every time you return from work, you must entadia moseye esemo run wabonting dem o run abonting. It doesn't enter your bedroom. O run abonting. The first thing o regu is you put a little bit of salt in it. Now one kasano so no every time and chin as I say what we gaye once you know what segum. You must cleanse yourself every day. Every day. So yes, how dear we are. Oh, your nurse, you will be much to a large extent. Now, show a braboni oni unyanko pontem 90 year. A large extent, you will be a problem-free nurse. Obi atofu wo tumi bese wokum mani ye. Yes, asemna mekano momfa ni serious. Monfa the serious papa. Isan say eyen semwa ehu. Nurses bebre omu hu omu wano omu nie ni jawo abrabo imu. I'm telling you, nurses bebre omu nia waripa because they pick up negative energies from people omni omunya contact. Womo yejuma ewo mortuary. Misuma wom. I don't know yet to a large extent. Uncle for no dudwana nante, dudwano echin. Most often than not, on aya no muye a bit more spiritually inclined than ye and Nenama Bontino. What do you say? But oye nurse ni ubie wu wasesa no wa prepare no ye de no a yoma befano komog. You know the souls of those people are hovering around. Just say if we are see we na ye name no, it is not a home, a new fee. Emun samne doson. Emun samne doson. Eti the bet me aje oni se obi ni papa to a large extent. Oni ni pe nyina be di ni yi na fe wasum nyankopon yi na baby a human factors obetumi set some guidelines in the baby a be protect you no why I think ebetumi offer extra clothing and sana wako your friend is saying a juma as a nurse, all right. And then I believe some more washrooms near the day when your salt be at the account what they engine gum what was it what cleansing what's the extra clothing or the no befi do this and some who and some ha soon some a software. How many applications are coming into you? And do you have any idea how those applications or softwares work? Software be or now the bar operating system so or computer so you will come and crash the system. You will break it. Software be incompatible. It doesn't fit. And how is it gonna be? Many of you spiritually you are bankrupt. Spiritually you are weak. You are down. You've been broken. Or bonnie for no person will break you no finish a one time new review. And that is why as ministers of God, most often than not, we stay away from water and food. We stay away from sex. And then we devote ourselves to prayer and fasting to energize and to strengthen ourselves. And constantly we are cleansing ourselves. I am constantly cleansing myself. I'm constantly chewing herbs. Ebemami energy to be able to withstand all these negativities around me. All manner of people will come to you. And when they come and they are leaving your office, what do they leave there? It's a matter for you to think about carefully. Say uti de making na oye de mechirechron kakran kakranoa. I'm sure say you will avoid a lot of problems. Thank you once again. Na eye me se me wi. Then so me di account. Ochine bi you won't blame me. Se manye medwuma yi. Maye ni akase won so obeye wodie. Na yi nyina yetwitwa agye ye ho. Medase. And Yumri and Koma Yidi no episode 1 may be any brief because already I've gone an hour. Me kasafa the processes are unipa fem and sanawu. I unipa emfiti prekope emu. Eka 7 days amenipa ne wunsuwa obehu se oba biwu. Na Osenkafo Ecclesiastes 3:2 no say a time to be born and a time to die. Eti uchiumu time ubewu. But eka 7 days amonipa biye wua uhu. And womu a ete hu say omu biwu no eyankofo a omo ba asase sunu tie nkomo ni yi. Omo ba asase so no omo bon modern eye papa bibri esen bone. Awurade asem ne se me de papa ne bone esi wonim. Na enso metufu se fa papa ne nyankwa. Eti so bi etumi ye papa ne papa ye no edoso esen ne bone a oye ya. Eka 7 days amanipa ne wua. The messengers of death, omonam 7. The messengers of death, omonam 7. Aka 7 days ama wewuno. Omudi untente. Baby abekubi no mu monitaw. Enti obi a oweni se uhu saa messengers of death no a utumi frɛ wo ka kyerɛ se owu bɔn ho eti bɔmɔden na ye bibi fa ho wan kasankasa no nso a aka 7 days ama wewu no se oye papa ma ne dɔso asase so a you are able to sense your sensitivity no be very huge. Iti wa u feel the presence of death. During the 7 days, you can call for help and drive the messengers of death away from you. How to drive them away from you? Mechere. Yewo directions ni niema ubetumi aye. 7 days no messengers of death aben wo no ubetumi apamo mo afiri wo nchen. Normally womo ayebo mudia ana womo a omu bewu atofuwu no aya omo sense sa niema we more angel messengers of death no angel of death and the summer messengers of death. Turn with me your Bible to Revelation chapter number 6 verses 7 and 8. Revelation chapter number 6 verses 7 and 8. Yenin komoki tuebi ewo. Making kan twi no enti no. Menim say RY, I think say RY is absent. Making kan twi no, if possible, may read the English no as well. But so be betumi load the English no ewo comment line wa na wa load the ede amami wisdom so emaye. Revelation chapter number 6 verses 7 and 8 or say na otin so anoa etoso 9 na no we that see we may flying screw edibc the woman in a basket no me ba curse ni so curse no me be kire ya ba enso ano no curses no eti enso ano etoso 9 no mo a unim enwa disuan no me pa you can go back to the YouTube channel. Ubenya the message on the flying school. Start from there. Edoba BPA all the seals. Okay. Iti ensano etoson and we yati ano deda. Iti a wide spread of death. If you check with the New King James Version, a wide spread of death. A out of woo. Okay. There is nothing natural about this death. No, it doesn't follow the natural discourse. Senye ubi ekoda sumbimu. It doesn't follow. Iti timidin. Na me bibi weni ewon sem bibria efa owo. Remember to like the transmission. A very important say adesua me ni uyi obe share na obi etie. Eti na me ye ni twi no se ne be ya Ghana fo wo mo etime kasa ni nyina ebeti de me kanase. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do this message the English version now because every enemy side. Eti bomodin say oba the more you like no it making it possible say Ubi a over YouTube no on this subject no ubi hunu na wakwa kutie. Maybe just your sharing or your liking will save a soul. Eti making kind or say oti ensanoa etoso 9 no anono. Mechi say oti asefo otoso and 9 no say bra. Verse 8 na mi hunu yi na hwe oponko sunsun bi nie a pale horse na de oti ne so ne din e de owu. Na asamandu edi nachi na woma won asase so abupan mu enan mu ba kusu tumi say onfa afna ene kom ene owuo ene asase so moa enkunkumwom eti anytime a owuo beyi niti no or messengers eka no ho odifo Jeremiah ema ye hu say owuo owo owuyade eti the messengers no say ukọ other women almost from Yamadutes. You can check it up. Ewo Gogo, I think it's a messengers of death. O Gogoa ubemu image no. Let me give you how the images they look like. Omo ye giants and omo ye horrible and terrifying figures. These are messengers of death. No, o the Gogoa you see omo ye giants. Ubemu say there are chains in their neck, omukra sword, and then wemo ena ebabe disconnected the body from the soul. They are messengers of death. Omoba 7 days before the death of the individual. Eti mesremo before ubewu no ubia obewu bia ubehunu. It depending on how a opapa ye edoso enti se wo asasi so a bo modi se obema wo papa ye no ayede adoso. E wom se no matter how righteous you are obeye boni. Yes, Bible aka Osenkafo 7 Osenkafo 7:20 Ecclesiastes 7:20 Tie Erade se ose ampara onipatire ni biara eni asasi so a oye papa na onye boni. The Americans say what you say. Pick up your English Bible and read Ecclesiastes chapter number 7 verse the number 20. Or say, for there is no just man on earth who does good and does not sin. Eti enye de ya wakoye nipai emfomso mako mienu miensa bi ebeba ho ye wo boni bi o a edi nipa ko wom ye wo boni bi o a emfa nipa enko wom se ne First John ekan ye no. But the American say onipa biya eka 7 days ama waba bi wuwa. Okay, you will know because the messengers of death omo beba aba be visitew, and within that week na oba be wuno omo bedi untente baby a wo ko biya no omo di wachi and omo monitor wanamon 5 to 4 hours before I will be wuno and omo disconnect wo from your soul. Process no de fa mu omo de ofa mu no. I'm going to show you the process. But these are the messengers of death. We call them the Yamadutes. Omo ye very horrible. They are giants. They are terrifying. Now, anytime you see them around you, these entities, you see, there are a niyama obetumia ye edia pamu every winchain. If and only when wona wu sankofo we no these uwo abofo no mo ba befa wakono on befa okra na kono se wabobra a ekire se opapa ye no doso esen obonia enie na direction no a mekire no eno de se osofo na wutie mi na obeye wonipa ne hu se wo a wutie mi no a oda ebi owo mpaso ana woni na ma na ye ka che se owo bo no when I be calling for help, media men frame, I just saw ye a sorry ba. I so when ya sorry ba and frame because in yana yamedi mammy say, mean protect you no on kahu. It would eat yadisiano now so for now ten in arsenal. Won't ye be now or more? But so when ya sorry ba, I'm done with that. Those cause no, I'm not ready. A life and death are cause of war. You are not under me, so I'm not responsible for saving your soul in this lifetime. No, opa, you can save your soul from damnation. But physically, as I see super now, sorry, but now me baby time. No, I won't do that. So, means also unless you are under me. If you are not under me, you are not part of my flock. It's no near nature and obey me at ye. Now, I call bravo. But some me will be frame me a catch him so papa me Facebook me show we me nisa time no we are sorry but dear I will take care of you because it is my duty towards the flock. It's not the sending so mommy baby I do no I won't give time for because oh baba JM na wasa kotwa unkwasi asem so when we sofo kuna munam hono mompe bra papa biabo mompe nyamisuro bi esuro mompe homeda bi edi na wa baba frame say memwa na wuya wakwa kotwa unkwasi asem so I will not have that time ubetumi atie ade no amechire no na kope nwa abrabo ebo it is how gidi se baby a wo som no ubenya ahoto ne asomdwe a tina ho emesre emwa emfemfiri Pastor Bernard honom ahobrasiem na mdeka sasemui. It is 7 days before your death, you know. Now the messengers of death no omajumane say they are going to stay around you for a week, 7 days. During that week, they are going to take you through the process of death. Now, let me put it here. Say, just as human beings are not born in a day, you don't die in a day. Say, one catch it, the mechanic, I'm taking it again. Say, I can say, Yawu be a, and yet that corona di wu nipa. There be. Before you be no, it taking 9 good months. I thought there be a to me go beyond even 36 weeks to 38 weeks and even 40 weeks. And Sunday Yawu nipa. It ye daba kope near the wo. Then so it taking 9 or 9.5 months and sana ye wo. In the same way, when you die, you don't die at once. It's when somebody dies within some few hours of the death. Ye won ye maybe a free nipanimu says sani mano a being free nimua or any opportunity as a divine person and will be or yet metaphysically oriented say ube to me a revival nipano back to life. Because when doctors declare somebody dead, it is only when they know that the breath of air has ceased and from mano akumane pumping from money to trap that circulation of air is easier and medically doctors declare will be dead. So medically you've been declared dead, but you are not dead at that point. Okay, just losing your air, your breath of air doesn't make you dead. It would take up to about 14 hours and sana we wankasa. And not the edruwa. There is nothing any divine person can do about it. Unless Christ, who is the resurrection of life or the dead, and I will be to me, I intervene. Amasadi Nabaso. 87 days before your death, you will know, depending on Abraba Oboye. Now, fast forward. 7 days no eson. Da oba be wunu. 4 to 5 hours. BBC. As I say, angels of death we almost disconnected your material body from your subtle body. Now, some kanisa ye wo honam ye wo okra. So no anybody no there is a cord that connects the soul and the body, and that cord is what we call the cervical or astral cord. Let me give you an idea how it looks like. Now, I want you to carefully look at the image on your screen. Carefully look at it. You can see, say, there is a soul of the person lying down. Obiana or dahonu. Obeun say, a soul nefrinimu ena a year, you know, a wasrosa. All right. Now, when we say ahomatie be connected, the soul and the body. This is what I'm talking about. And on American was the cervical cord or the astral cord. Eti sunsumuno ahomabi connected body no. Ena uso no. Now, sa womana connected the body and the soul no. Enona etumima uso no enanti ko baby bra body nada. Tie nkomona meni udini body ni da ho wada ti se ne mami eda ho yi. Okay, and so besan hu another you ewo baby sisi ameno ka say enkran ne yewo and so ubetumi ada empaso won kran ha ubesan hu another body of you ewo kumase. Okay, now sa body of you na uhun wo kumase no that is what we call diason dream. Okay, and on your friend said that it's what the body need a ho, but another body within you no epi ena enenam and on your friend diason it is so ni pie free monekwa that cord na uhunitia between the two bodies you know. Bako eye material body hunemdria nankasa eno ne da form no ena bako ye the subtle body okra no the soul na ewo mu no eti the soul na ewo mu no eno so ye another body but connected to your material body. And that connection the astral or the cervical cord and on the connected. It will be to me and will say, oh, so na yepa. And so obi adenensa touch you nipeduana. Obi touch you say within a nanosecond. Na okra na tumi asaba be say nipeduanim na wonyane e de afrim. It is as long as that cord, that cervical cord, and as an astral cord, no, as long as a anytime you are dreaming or your soul has departed from you, your touching material body ni say, hey, sorry, automatic na so no asa action ababe shape body ni na wabu pitiri no ayedin no unyan you say say da ye na me yedin me so. This is the assignment messengers of death 4 to 5 hours before your death. Esesa omo yes ade wi ewo nipadua no ene wo kra ne ntem. So they have a very sharp blade during the last moment of your last minute in this lifetime no, they are going to disconnect your subtle body from your material body. Omo ba be disconnected okra no from nipadua no. And how did they do the disconnection? They will just cut this cervical or astral cord. They are connecting the body and the soul. No, omubetwem. Yetwem say pe. Now the soul is disconnected from your body. And once the soul is disconnected from the body, you are going to be an image like this. Ubewu say image no near ebenie. Afe ahomebia ensemu bio. Unye huni say pe we no sadie we no, you will not see say wobusuafo gina ho a omuhu, doctors fo gina ho a omuhu, but na adie we yeden koso. It is a image ni say ya. Now you cannot see any line connecting the body on the floor or down there to the soul and at the subtle body na ewo wiem no. Ekobani say pe wo say nipa we say you are now not just medically dead, but metaphysically you are dead. Once the cervical cord is disconnected, you are actually dead. Now, I'm taking you through the process little by little. There are processes. The first step is after 7 days ama wawuno. Messengers of death ebeba aba be monitao. Say ye ka akwansia e na wo ba be faso ewu a obia obewu e wo ka ni mu bia no, they will come and monitor you. Say wo ni mu a, there is nowhere be disconnecting the subtle body from the material body. And I said there is nowhere be disconnecting the soul from the material body. Omonte okra no eni nipadua ne ntem. Agi se owo na eba besi ewo nkwansie ni mu no okam. Adia ba ko a prevent the messengers of death from taking your soul away when you sense ananya mini pebi ana obi a owo psychic eye ana owo third eye ewu se owo bon ho a, what the person can do ni say obegina wo papa ye a wo ye ni bebrebe ewa asasi so. Eti na Bible ni say onipa onim oma ana onim papa ye no ni kum den ewo Nyankopon nsam. Eti wona masasi so a bomodin say to the best of your ability no be ye papa. Unu ya wo kire na boa no onibia hunimobo ma yam sese ma onipa da sene ti se wo eni emim sam ne etimodin sam ne etudura sam empempi no ade a yede ye wa enye ode no emfa nye wunua, because during the 7 days of your demise, you know, say angels and messengers of death no ba around you. Now born in the doors one, there is nothing anybody can do about it. They will take your soul, they will do the disconnection, and then you become a fatality to this entire world. Abraham Gusu American me pacha o wasembisa obetumi diaba. Is an someone no okay, a idea in nipa monfa money hunu, but a idea koso. Yamadutes no ba, a year messengers of death, no more ba be disconnection. They don't just disconnect you, no. Omano benante 7 days. It is a we will be our spiritual father, and now we will be our papa yenadoso. Na eniema etwa nwesiane ye kronkron a bepachawo ebeboawo ama watumi asevu so maybe you may have some extra time ubedi wasasi so ansana obekwa wako omunya ba onchen sepe 4 to 5 hours of your death na afei omaye disconnection. They will sever the astral cord, or what we call the cervical cord. And this is the image of the cervical cord or the astral cord, connecting the body and the soul. When this disconnection is done, the work of the messengers of death is finished. Omo kate line tianwa uhunu wo body na emunu eda form ni okra no a ewo ewie mu no a omo twa saa line ni mu sepe afei de ye de ensabo wa osori a enyeyi unyani a enyeyi. Esan say the soul has lost its material possession. Adia ebua so no mani tumi tina asasi we so no yetwam. Why no mnitwam the messengers of death. Once the disconnection is done, your soul leaves the body. And when the soul is leaving the body, you are going to see something like this. You're going to see something like this. BBC disconnection number. So at once the soul is disconnected and it must leave the body. Normally it leaves the body through the gates, either the gates of your body, and I say through any of the gates of your body. Usually through your mouth. And a far eddy EP, and I say upie free mu, depending on whatever lifestyle you have. Na okrano eddy free mu echo. This is the initial process. Unipe bia wufri asase so obefem. Na ebano atofuwa. One senkayano a little bit complicated and different from the process na medeo femuno. I will not eat into atofuwo ni dieno. Now I'm only going to explain the natural process ubia fem. Midru atofuwo no diena na mababe chirem kwaya obi befa so a obi wu even the messengers of death no, they will be so hidden in the view of anybody. Mebabe chirem kwaya efa so a ebanisa, because atofuwo bia no, there are some powers in play, demonic powers in play, some demigods in play, some demons are preventing anybody from, stopping the death of that individual. Adenja because bonibi and a why man atraso and yedi the elements of this earth, abonidia in Jebanisa. Many of the incidences are hidden. They are hidden from the sight of even psychics. They are hidden from the sight of even men of God who have third eye. There are no revelations of that sort. I will explain to you how that also happens in the course of time. Okay, yantuaso. Now, make us say onipa yam fiti dako ni edewo. It taking 9 months and sana ya wodakro. And so it takes some processes and sana eventually wababiwu. The visitation of the messengers of death, the disconnection of the cervical or the astral cord, you disconnect via. Now, the body which lies there must go through a process. And sana ubewua wewuampa. Na ahanom na mepese ubetie miyi. Because se yenya disconnect the cervical cord and the astral cord. Eye sa ahoma we yenya disconnect say pe. The moment you be disconnect no, there are 5 elements ewonipem. All of them must leave the body before we can finally say ana okra ne begya tum say wewuamba. There are 5 elements, and the 5 elements we need to know about, are very, very important. These are the same elements. It won't nipemwa. Say uhunu these elements in you. Na usia unyen chere efa sa element you. Na utumi harness the powers in these elements. You will easily break through. There be a make say. One more edi kan bedi mechia omo pepere omo koye no. Eyo mo se ne yesese omo ti no matie wi. There be munya ntehwe. Eniema emudo, eniema sumsum ne humu no. Asofo ne adifo ne ntumi nka no. Ni nyina no they are packed within me. Until say me wunu say people are ready for the kingdom of God. They have understood the principles of money. They have understood their destiny. Almost go through some process, and there is no way I can pre-expose you to them. Because medicine him the bampa, a subia enim faso, at the mount at Yasifo Asasiso. Eti sabre disconnection ne basepe. Say cervical cord no eye a woman wa e connect okra. Anybody know messengers of death no ebetwem sepe. All the 5 elements in the body must live. And what are the 5 elements are? Here can one. Somebody may be asking the elements that we're talking about. Now I want you to look on the screen very carefully. The 5 elements na here can one no enuni. Onipa biya no. There are 5 things. Actually, if we are seeing down, the entire universe was created out of 8 fundamental elements. The entire universe na wono onyankopon bo ni wiase no 8 fundamental elements and onyankopon edibo wiase no. And no nyame topic of discussion. If you're interested in the 8 fundamental elements, ube to me at the two comment will say, okay, me pese me who all the fundamental elements are onyankopon edibo wiase no. Send ye beya mesia adie efrim. And then as many that will suggest said they are interested, no, I'll bring that lesson. But tonight in the 5 elements out of the 8 and the nyankopon die onipa. It's amazing. Adentina onipa biano, you have 5 senses. It's amazing. Every finger biano awono, every hand biano, ewo 5 fingers, or left, ewo 5 fingers, or right, ewo 5 fingers, or 9, ewo 5 fingers, bingumni 5 fingers, 5. Everybody, I would say, you are made up of 5 fundamental elements. Out of the 8 fundamental elements, Onyankopon edi we say, 5. Now, let's name them. Earth, asase, earth, a part of the elements that makes you. It is a Obeka Bible now, Betty, I see a Bible no say, Onyankopon etche a form dotier. Earth is in you. It's body way. Bible naka. Dotia ebeko dotiem and sono ebeko ensum. Some ne dia enyamedia okra ne ba kujina timum. 5 elements na nyankopon di nipa no. One of them is earth. Another odi nipa eye air emframa. Onipa bi emframa wo mu. So oxygen must be circulated to all parts of the body. In a short while. And then there is something we call fire. Fire no enona emma onipa biya no unya body temperature on say or still be a day ewo mu ya check out temperature so ya 37 degrees Celsius ya so body nado o heat no ekosoro ya onyankopon e di ejabi ehye mu. So you are also made up of fire. And then you are made up of water. And then you are made up of ether. Sa ether way. And no ena etumi a produce buoyancy. Sa make up buoyancy ewo potoka semua. When we say onipa biya overweight. So ko jina scale so ubetumi we be say be 56 kilogram and also ubetumi we be say 60 kg. But only namas you don't see yourself carrying that load. So you're very light. It is not easy to lift a bag of cement and walk simply the way you walk. But some of you are heavier than cement. eti ɛdeɛ bɛn na etumi ma the force of gravity ɛyɛ adwuma wɔ so a wo body weight no utumi carry about so lightly na utumi etu mrika wɔ bra even though we are 78 kilogram, even though we are 56 kilogram, under normal circumstances, no, you cannot run with that energy or that weight. Okay, but a dear ben a boa mouth to me, a balance that will now ye light and no and a ye eat ano. It is a eat ano, it to me a boa emma obey ye light, even though you are heavy, so that you don't carry your heavy weights around. Eti obia nemu eye bubia no say nipa ni tumi nante although say yakofa that same weight ebia say owe 80 kilogram ni yakofa ade a eye 80 kilogram man say oyusom no mfa nante a ontumi mfa nante but ono anybody na eye 80 kilogram no otumi di nante easily eye exercise ye niema eye eat ana ewo mu no eno ne boa wo me ba bebiem obia ne nadwuma oye. Enti what happens ni say you be disconnected sa cervical cord we say pe tien komoni ye be disconnected say pe or sa woman ya e connect uso ene wo body no ye nya be disconnected say pe say all the 5 elements na ewo mu no eye the air efiri umuko fire efiri umuko ether efiri umuko There is a process your body goes through, and sana okrana dia tumu say ampeniampa wawu. Eti onipa bia wu say pe until say the first 13 days ebe passing, and I said the first 40 days ebe passing. Nipa no wawu die, but ni so ne da so wa ha. Eti me no kasei. Media and Semni Biwa Ayaminka. But Vivian, the soul is still here. There are several times I wabefi or kone body no ever more chill. Baby, I'm here, Vivian so to me ba. But there's someone much coming wesiano. Some of you moon near nintino. Moon. During the time of this period, the soul is still around. Adentia, because there is one more thing a dawa enyem free asasi so enkoye and from an everybody nim ejana frim eat an efrim ensuo na frim but et no wonam ne da so da ho it is so no feel say it still can possess its material body, and that is why it is dangerous say obi bewu now be keep on the body no for so long. It's in common many obedi no me pato to buasi ne tie me yie because and some na me ba bebu boso no ebi o ebi a wunim but on sedante ni ntire mu ase me be tirem ama wati ase it is all ne me namoa me pato hwe wo so yi e se baby a metu mika adwane no wo begina ho it is all se me dwane adwane bi. So me da the be dia me patren say dia me katire unitie because we need the ability to see what goes on in the realms of the spirit outside the earth peripheral. No, we need the ability to see. You must count on somebody or what the ability to survive in this lifetime. Na nipa ne nkyerɛkyerɛ na ɔmo na nneɛma ɛsɛ sɛ wuhunu no ɔma wuhunu sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a ewiase wonenam mu basabasa saa. To be very honest with you, and Kenya dia metre if not in yesino mem pese hadi we betu mi bio and a maria so say and na assembly will be a same more. There is no one can metre eti abusiafo momayetu ye boase ne ensua de eti medical ka say yenya disconnected this particular cervical cord and extra cord noa. As I say, all the 5 elements, baby a be free by biano, a sign the chi echo. Atabokia say 8 elements, willing to know how God used them in creation. Vera Mankwansu say, Papa, please, I'm interested in that lesson. Edu Grace will say, okay, we need the 8 element lesson. That's very fine. Now, the say once you come to the lesson, Bomodia say obeshe na unua nso aba betie adesua no na boa ama no nso wasua de na saasi so onam no wahwe ne husu yie esan se wiase no ena hokwa onyankopon no obo ni wiase no so fro bi se omaye na dwuma a oboam nipa no maneti wiase no boy na se eji obi a onim haban onim fom onim se ne sunsum nsamote no se nipa no oye dangerous esese wusia se nipa na obra nwase na usua eniema edifiri no ho. Thank you. I've taken note of your request, and so I'll do a separate lesson on that. The 8 fundamental elements are unyankopon ediye wiase and how they affect us. Eti sanyema we emframa, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the ether. These are the 5 elements that make up every human being. Now, ladies and gentlemen, aha no meka we huntasem. Sa elements we na ewo mu no. Eno na e keep you alive. Me pesa wo se ade we nso. Elements we ewo mu no. Eno na e keep you alive. Sa elements we eno na ma wotumi ye nipa out the numbers as so. Enti se obi e use any of these elements against you are, that brings about act of woe, premature death. It is either air has been used against you, fire has been used against you, earth has been used against you, water has been used against you, and now say ether has been used against you. Now, there are some people who die prematurely in fire. When that same fire is used against you, it will consume you. So when you see people die in horrible fire, it is not just happening. Something actually has happened. BBS metaphysically. Okay? And that is why most often than not, I told you, say, a banner of war, they will be hidden from no matter how psychic you are. Because these elements must help you survive. It's when these elements are used against you. Say this unless say you know exactly what to do. Say the ether ether no, it is up there in the sky and not a relatively your friend agrada. There are forces in the solar system, lightnings irem and agrada, they all form part of the ether. So who more make it is the agrada boduya. They are using the element in you against you. You will die. A premature death. Yeah, the assassin is who knows what is going to happen to you? Eti air, fire, water, earth, ether. Adia ensese we be da. And adia ensese ume be tu da. Asasi suni say. Obi ede asasi. Eisio, emframa, eja. Agrada ayirem ebeboduya se nipa ne de sane or the woman sa elements here. These are part of the 8 fundamental elements onyankopon edi wiase. Now guess what? Eto de bi nyankopon pese odiso nipa otumi toja suffering not the best nipa using fire against you. Eto de bi nyankopon pese o say nipa otumi di nsuo no wabrem o di nsuo be ye dey ebe say nipa otumi di emframa ehum a no odin ebe bo nipa ekum nipa said the make what they say otumi di asase earthquake no obuso asase no it is elements we na nyankopon so de dey edi kum nipa and o di say nipa. So yes, what is here, Radia? I'm telling you, the same elements now amount survival no, the same element ebekum, and nobody can do anything about it. It is like say we are seeing a woman obey ni papa, but modi say asasi autisono obey ni papa no botene ni abrabo, and yadenya boneba kumienu beba ho. But as much as possible, no, pursue peace, pursue goodness, and pursue kindness. It best save you from so many troubles you cannot even fathom. As I'm not making a second, what did they make and say? It is saying, yeah, but disconnected the cervical cord, yeah. As I said, all 5 elements, I feel the soul has been separated from the body. As I said, 5 elements, a free, if you see we now adjoining the totality of the 8 fundamental elements. 8 elements na nyankopon de bo wiase. 8 elements no de bo wiase no. Say yesi wawudi a esese so no hu say all the 5 akwa join it back to the 8 fundamental elements. So it is the totality of the universe as akwa join it. And no ansa na so no begia to me say ampemiampa afei de oni atiasefo eni kaka wewu enti saa de a na any of the elements no ewo asase su ha so no onko baabia patu tirimu so no onya dan onko baabia until each one of them, all the 5, the air, the water, the ether, the fire and the earth, nina are joining back to the totality of the universe. Assassin no beko assassinin back. Ether no ebeko back to up the skies. Fire no ebeko back to the solar system. And the water will go back to where it is. Bibia be free mu enframa so ebe journey the totality of enframa ewu wiase. And then the soul will accept say wewu. And that is why in the process of the disconnection, as a sort here say, you don't just die. The disconnection comes, and as soon as you are disconnected, as soon as the astral cord, the cervical cord is cut, sa woman wa a connected okra, any your friends say ni pediano, say nya timu say pe, all the 9 gates of your body, all the 9 holes of your body will be filled with mucus, or what they call, my friends say mucus or say mucus. More money mucus and unye where the among fanchami, ebia no be didi, ebia no be ya be fachame. Graphic name de babe to a ye mucus no. Be person what the mucus is. I had to say, a mama bisa. This is the mucus I'm talking about. The moment a messengers of death no, ebe catch the cervical cord and answer the astral cord no. Then all the holes, the 9 holes, we also call them the 9 gates of the body. And that's why the body is called the city of 9 gates. Unimoa. The city of 9 gates, you know. Unipebia, every human body, oh, 9, a quine mako, ntokro mako, 9. And a one. The moment you be disconnected, we know. Now, automatically, mucus are feeling baby. Se mukos no we no efeli wunim wasum wanim sabe otokwan o genital sabe oba o ye bema obema o ye oba wase wonya disconnect say pe ya o block all the 9 holes. You begin to suffocate. Yenya disconnect say pe automatic na mukos asise all the 9 holes. As I say, all the 9 holes say, after you are going to suffocate. And on the man who say, Nipano, or so. Now, fee, what was we? Or so you are not to say, from there, no, the elements above be freely move one by one. It is a who say, Obi, will not or suffocate here. Let us say, you disconnected the astral cord. You now disconnect, say, all the hosts, and from maybe go inside, BBM free muma. It's in the best suffocating. Nam pano or so giri sa. Besisa will say, Afedia na acho. Adindia. There is air within. You are blocking all the holes. Now, let me take you through the holes. So, first and foremost, we are going to start with the eyes. So, Onipabia, you have 2 eyes. And unye. Eye kwai mienu eti ye babele say the 9 holes no owo 2 eyes, the 9 gates to your body no inside your system no owo 2 eyes no eno nie we ye no free wa owo 2 ears owo ason so mienu ason no so o de sa mucus no ebesi no ye nya twa disconnect okra ni free body ni mu a ason no so emu besi afei ohune no so emu besi eti ube hu say Monica, mene Monica, tamu wa Vivian free muno. Oda fresh mene Monica na kwa unse muko sinya ni hunimu ni na sumu nyina esisinti normally what they do is omo de asawa esise wasum ene hunim ene sabe otokwan ene baby a ntokuru no omo de cotton esise ehonum nyina afei so otokwan eye yo enos nso ehonso omo ba imukos no eba besili afei wanum nso ebeye homa afi there is nothing, no inflow bibi entumi free wenu nko bibi entumi ma afi so no oye oba no nso eno nso mucus ebe feel ho aye homa oye bema obema no nso mucus no nso ebe feel all the 9 holes ni nyina no ebusiafo de obe oni se ni nyina ebe ye sealed, and then you will suffocate within a shaky until. So when you see somebody, okay, they call it flames, very good, mucus or flames, that's how they call it. This is coming from Facebook. Or say, I've been looking to hear about this element that forms a man. Success Mauko. All right, if you've been looking, yes, these are the elements that form Onipebia. 5 elements now a form Onipebia, a mouchimi nanti, a mau ye ayesem, a chimi mau a kiki, a 229, a boat football, a home, 5 elements, you know, and no, a word screen is no. Eti me pato sending so efamami. Afe ye disconnected. Mucus ababi chichen to kuntukruno. You have suffocated. What shake? What vibrate? Afe unya vibrate ye say pe. Afe ena all of these elements no. Eba be free mu 111. And this is the process it goes through. Before doctors can declare you dead, as I say, omutumi hu se emframana ifri ewu mu no a stop it. Let me see if I can give a replica of the wind. Memfa we enye the wind. Okay, so that whitish adie fitana hunisano susunu se emframa. All right. As I said, doctors, before they can medically declare you dead, we don't actually diagnose somebody dead, but we declare the person dead because hunam femne hunu se wewu, but soul na owone die hunu se wewu. Okay, so death is not a diagnosis; it's a declaration you give to somebody. Eti niemo kani nyina no at that point no okra no ote so ni nko baby ya or body no just say we free or try so be funny body no but untumi mfa. Eti doctors ni who say emframano stop here the last heartbeat no a man go into cardiac arrest no akumani jaibo say pe circulation of air etwetwa. Eti when the air ceases, automatically the brain dies. And when the brain dies, all your senses cease to function. Between 4 to 5 hours, omobe disconnecting no suffocation no ebeba 4 to 5 hours before your real death no. Now omaba be disconnection. Omoye disconnection ni we are afei body no ebabe all the holes ebabe fill with mucus and our flames and our mamain ebesisi ntokruntukru ni nyina san ntokruntukru ni nyina sisi wia afei you are coming to suffocate. Eti mostly no obi babe wo a won se na ne hu sisi James and inframa no sisi na ne hu no ensi ohome a ense da yeyi ai unye huni sa say pe or tisu say pe disconnection aka no mucus is developing tokru nyina besili obe suffocate. Afei the first thing emframa eba be free ni mu akọ emframa no se akoma no pompe eye na djuma all pompe blood no na all circulate oxygen to the brain to all parts of the body. It the moment na akoma no be jai no emframa no esizi emframa ni sizi na free mu kwa because the brain lacks oxygen no the brain dies. So the first thing that dies in the body is your brain. And adrenal will say all the sense organs they cease to function. Remember, say anybody who has been declared dead medically and from an free, but the death process no because a one element per and every the echo and framano and echo. The next element is a free nimu. Just a minute. The next element is a free nipanumu echo the fire. And from anidi kan free umuko. Then na ejano so aba be free umu. Where is my fire? Okay. Now fire ne wo mu no. Now if you must be informed, your fire no ne maintain a ma onipadua no. Ne say you know human beings, we are not aquatic animals. We are not cold-blooded animals. We are warm-blooded animals. It's what keeps you warm. The fire element in you. And no maintaining your body temperature. And no making sure say all the time uye nipa. It is a fire no nye through muse pe. You must note say when the air leaves you, it takes about 3 to 4 hours. And sana fire no so a day every umuko. It's one by one. The elements now it make your entire being no. Ninyina be free body in my day. Because the soul has been separated from the material body. And the moment fire no ebe free o system ni mu no. That is where touch the feet of the person. No abeye very cold. Touch the body of the person. Na fi nipa na no tiasia or yes sese no. Waba beye nyu. Obi busa question success ebusa say, so does this mean that there is ghost? Yes, to a large extent there is ghost or samai ewo ho. Na samai no ho no enchirichirimu kakra wo wa esese medeba. To a large extent, yes, there is ghost or samai ewo ho, because at that point you so now we free muno or your samai. Okay, wasef we see we mu eti ono de odaso wo ho obemo niemo kanyina ote even ensemo a ekoso wo mutiri mu nyina no ote ne se kasa adwendwen a ekoso wo mutiri mu abusuafo atwa nwasia de mo ye nyina ote but ono kasa momo de enya de a mobeti eti emframani free ni mukwa the next thing e be free ni mu akono eye fire no eja no nso free ni muko sei pe afi obe se onipa no ananka ode onsaka no a na ohyew ewo ni mu ana oye ne nsem sei a ode opa asema make uni mu a wa posa nsem sei ma friction no enye tek obe se onsem aye sesese awoba awoba na onipa eye ne nsese na ode keka na fo. Yes, that is the fire in you. Ejano that element if you musepe afi nipa no aba be very cold, very cold. Onye sisi biu onipa desenia some few minutes ago na oye okrati asefo no disconnection ba. The elements are living, and that is the death process. It doesn't happen at once. Ejano onipa no emframane free ni mokono. It takes 3 to 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours, depending on how the person's, age, any vibrant life, it's here. Obi o no ye very healthy, very, lively. Sorry. It's between 3 to 4 hours, You go and touch the body again. The partner is very cold. The fire element is gone. And when the fire element is gone, the next element are eba be free ni penumwako. The ether. Yes. Ether no eno ne say infin. Look at it carefully. The engia me de say infin no. Balance the air, the fire, the water, and your material body, which is the earth. Send your beya weight, and ubechumia carry yourself about. Ubechumi, even though we are 56 kilogram, ubechumia nanchi simply, we are 60 kilogram, ubechumia nanchi easy, and the force of gravity, echumi working on you. Eti eat and also a free muko sepe, ube se nipanoa na otiasia, ubechumi apijanono. Afi se nipa no a oda ho no ejane free ni mu a waye nyunyunyu no after best 10 hours eat and also be ebe free ni more day ako after best 10 hours. It is 10 hours in your body need the doctor say we woo, but the death process is not complete. All the elements must leave and send a death process no aye complete. Ebusia said the mekano migusu ameko ni na o question now the aba. Eat and free musepe afi try to lift the body. You will not be able to lift the person. Then the more you do. And so a brand new panitias and you could have easily lifted the person. And so you must be put on a stretcher because weight, no more mortician and I say man will be to me a this weight and the more we must put you on the stretcher. Adia. It also carries a particular scent. And no nema 4 scents near them. Eba say ampa afedi nipa no in the process of death no kwa na oyede oko na mamenka munta se bi mfa nkyere mu se mframani free nipa ni mu na eja no efree nipa ni mu na ita no emfree nipa ni mu a there is a chance onyankopon pa die eno de eyewrade nsem nipa bi antumi nye onyankopon pa empaibo bi nisio bi enkaye bi erade betumi a reverse sa process no one say ebribe mekire mo say we have 3 stages of death. The first phase asafuma ejidifo betumi abompaye amaso no ababak. There will be a reconnection. The second phase, they can bring back life. The third phase, when the baby the first phase, the time where you sense messengers of death number omaba. No asafuma betumi ehiem ye bompa ye osofo na kase owuo eboni paso mesi ho ye mompa ye ne yanyini firi owuo ni nsem ye be count o papa ye na mampa bono so survival eti ye ni papa afi emframane ko asofo nso ba be ye omodwuma eti se emframane ko medically no a doctor can declare you dead because emframane ye dey eko because emframane ko nti o se wewu. But if you are fortunate to have a divine person close to you, you are fortunate to have ubia or ye metaphysically and also spiritually oriented, na oye capable unya seni pano at the time one medical doctors declare death now. That person who is in the divine nature no, can also bring you back to life. And that is the second phase. Ejani free umuna be ye koda, I'm sorry. Fire neko. It is already too late. You have entered the third phase because 10 hours after that, the eater is going to leave. 14 hours after that, na afei ensio no nso a ewo mu no eno nso eba be free mu ediako. Eti after about 14 hours no, you're going to see say nipa no oba be bloti obe honhono obe sese obloti sano a na afei wadu say ne ensio ni nyina eba be sing. And as the water leaves your body, your stiffness and your dryness has begun. Ensio ni free body nim say pe afei ubehu se nipa no wa dry obekọ mo chiro no na wa ye bawe no da ho. Ensio woni mu nyina aba besin eko 14 hours and beyond. Ensio ni besa say e free mu kakra ko say ni nyina e be free mu. E free mu a afei the last thing that must leave you earth. Asase no a in totality they make you out of the 8 fundamental elements now. Onyankopon yi emunum efri asase no universe nim ede ye wo no sa asase ne nso eye body no a adry na da ho no esese efri honom eko me pacha wo me wo low battery ewo we so ma memfa charger no ense se ne be ya those I will face meet me a monitor. Just a minute. All right. Thank you for your patience. It's body net and only the last thing one. As I say, if free. If we are seeing now joining the totality of the universe. It's at that time no. All this time no. And from maneko okrane woho. Fire neko okrane woho. Eat anu efrim okrane woho. Insune efrim okrane woho. Adinti no okrane woho. Because I cut the very last thing. As I say, joining the totality of the universe. It is a said dotier no so echo joining dotier no. Na afi. And from manuko bibiako ni who say afi die nipano wewu empeniampa. Mamimi Facebook no so ha send ye beya me to me. I follow in case questions ebi eba. He's me 2 hours. Eba maybe me Facebook when so hana. But to me I follow mo amutie no radio so no mesremo say nieme ye ni nyina no ne kasamfoni no eye video no ewo Facebook and YouTube enti obetumi akọ asem no a ana ade no a mekire no obetumi akọ ewo Facebook ama asem no a oso wehu ne ekoso nyina. Okay, echi sesi an yaba bedru baby a all the elements no a free body in 4 efrim aka 1 ene da ho 1 e da ho no eye the h dotie no nyankopon tete ya odenwene wo no dotie no na afedi e da ho eti under normal circumstances ne abusua eye ne say omokope mochri na omde waye dan akwa akosim na ahanom na enkomo kakra ewo until say nipadua no be joining the totality of the entire universe no. Until that time no okra no onko baby a if say ahanumutie nkomo ni. The process of death no it only ends when the body has also joined the totality of the entire universe. Now until say nipadua no ebe free asasi so ebeyira na joining the totality of the entire universe no dotie no be san eko dotiem until somebody no be dane dotie ti se ni ohunu form no sama we ya okra no onko baby ya because during that period no okra no ewo gidie bi say ne body ni da so da ho ana edaso wo existence it by chance bi obetumi asa a repossess ne body no sadia no ma many of the departed souls no ebeye earth bound beka asasi we so it what you need to understand is say at the time no a nipa no wagu na so no every mu say no patoti nkomo ni ye pa at the time na so no every nipadua no mu say no enframa beko fire beko eater ebeko water ebeko esese body ni nso ye den earth no nso ye den eko ejise obetwa bible no kasa no osi dotie ebesan akodotie mu enson ebesan ye den akọ ensun adenji no yusu dotie ene enson dotie no ejira ho ma burial enson ni jira ho ma cremation say o shi body no nadane ashes. Now between the two the best spiritual practice a cremation. So we see body no a better for the soul than say obe bury body no. Because when you bury the body, so the emuno ekoshe for more. still soul no ekɔ baabi a emu no wɔ. Enti sɛ wokɔ cemetery a wɔn a ɔmo wɔ ani no, ɔmo wɔ third eye no, you will see a lot of souls ɔmo su, they are shedding tears. Ɔmo wɔ around, they are hovering around the cemetery. Adentia body need hɔ. And if you care to know, it takes up to 60 years or more, depending on the climate condition of the country. Ansa na body no adane dotie. It takes about 20 years. Ansa na honam no ababeye dotie no Nyankopɔn tete no. Then it takes about extra 30 years. Ansa na nompe no uskaus unompe ni nyina nso ababedane dotie. And all this time, if there was a departed soul, one more papa, I'm telling you, say that soul would be earthbound. It is a year say nipa ne wu o maame o wu ye no o do no open asem eti open say o ise na nyam. You are punishing that mother you so called you claim to love. You are punishing sawo maame no odofo na wawuna eya oyana odi opesa o mani semwa abusumi nsia emfie baako no. You are rather punishing the panel because the soul will be tormented, obey restless, and there are mysteries involved in this matter. Now, as soon as the soul departs from the body, the soul in himself or the soul of material and our body extensions, adia emano edoniku eyeni pedua. Adia emane doni ma eyeni nipadua. Adia emane doni sika eyeni nipadua. Adia emano enya extensions in this world eyeni nipadua no. Eti as long as a nipadua no that's what asasi suwa yen cremati yeno. Be rest assured, say the soul is going nowhere. The soul continues to visit the family. It continues to visit friends. It continues to go to places of interest. Baby anana koma wo, baby anani do, ni kunu, ne ma, ni sika, na sase, ne japadie, baby anini ma wo nyina adentia, because odasu wo hope be say, body no obesan kwa kofa. At that point, the soul is confused. At that point, the soul doesn't know what is happening to it. Or the soul repossessing the body now to me repossess it. It is the best way I will be to me abua every departed soul. And they say, Owu yanwa entempano. Na much me discard the body no. And the best way to do is spiritually. If you don't want any wahala, is to cremate the body. And it's an obesity body no. If we are talking about cremation, this is what I'm talking about. You must cremate the body. You must burn the entire body. We have so many crematoriums around. You must subject the body to thorough burning by fire. Now, and none ashes. With this, the soul knows that the game is up. There is nowhere why yet disconnected from the living earth. There is nowhere obey to me. I repossess the body libio. There is no chance of going there. But if you go and bury the person, once the body is in the casket, I'm telling you, say the soul will still go there. I okrano obesa ko oba kushem obefele bra mawie na mosesa dotie de gunu so dotie ebeko dotiem na mosa dotie ne gunu so nyano sabri nyana so no so ese adaka nimbi ofili dotie na modi gunu so no mo wie na mo kata no so wie kwa na mo nantia kwa ohu se mo ne di mpapa mu ebeka ono nko a ewa adaka nim enti wawudie but onwui but the American say what you say nipa no honam fam de wawudie but the soul is still alive. Adentia, when somebody dies, there is an astral tunnel. Once I told you say a astral cord and that's a cervical cord. It once there is a disconnection, nipa na wawuno the departed soul no over 13 days, and within these 13 days, are very crucial for the family. Very, very crucial, because a state of confusion for the soul. Or kind of way through mono. Just say, Nenisuya toto ohuniatono on Tediatona say it is the first time experience as our soul inside the eka. It is the best way to go about it is owuya discard the body. When you discard the body, now the soul knows say, or you're disconnected from a reality way. Enti 13 days no astra tan no ya bi no so free asasi we ewiase we mu o free mu ya den ekọ the earth peripheral no so free mu ya den ekọ sama manam mamwa departed so no na we free man nkọ na ekoye atofu a most of the departed so no become vengeful. See the mekano, they become very vengeful, because within 13 days say a mysterious death had the kudi ekunu obehu. Say a busiani bi ne kuna obehu. And sama owu ya muka ye nyina ote. The ne koso omadwimu nyina ote. It is some of the souls become very vengeful, very hateful, very bitter, and they can cause a lot of havoc. And when somebody dies, and because the moment a nipan be hateful, vengeful, the departed so mamwano amanem free a wiasi wem ankono. All of you, mu somebody po. It is a one thing maybe a seer. Wait until somebody that has experienced or has revelations and has astral projections about this. Because there's nothing about them which is in fact, if you want to understand why say don't go closer to dead bodies, there are so many spiritual reasons. God created his world. On the body we are seeing or see adiana say adiana don't go there. Eti owonwa esia mo feel say oh okay body ni betumi ada ho we betumi aye we betumi awe na mo the body na to ho no 13 days are very crucial. Eti from the day nipa ni wuye begin to count. It is on the date I have fixed the ama Vivian ni wonu owu 15th of July. Exactly 13 days, a year 28th of July, or be cut down. We cannot allow the body to remain. If you are in a church and your pastor or your leader and you're metaphysically sound, or you're spiritually sound, or you're physically sound, leader, no, I'm sorry, a lot of things will go wrong. A lot of things will go wrong. And yeah, maybe on to me handle it, they will be way above his authority or above his powers that God has granted him. Because on Yanko to me so that you feel like a God. No, he won't do that. But you must have a capable leader. As I say, you be onim the left and right, or till life issues are say. You must have somebody who will lead you, direct you, teach you the right way. Fill your mind with information. Ladies and gentlemen, the first 13 days are very crucial. Obia wakan sembone dia fa Vivian obia wate. Dia adwendwene thoughts are ekoso yemu in that realm no. The soul is able to hear it as enkomo kasa. Your thoughts, ote. They are not limited. They are not bound by time. They don't have any limitation. It is no so any limitation. And if you begin to experience strange happenings, I don't know be what of war. Or to me, ya say obe possess another, material body. Yes, so most of those people, they are people who discover the causes of their death, and they realize that they didn't die natural death. They become vengeful. It's a very important. I'm telling you, say, they are doing it right. It's wunya de to swapa, no ma de wakosimu. Wunya de to swapa, and the best thing is say, obema body no. Adaka no hu. Menya ntie na no amesume mrante ne say omonkope adaka ne bintono. E no ma meti asese sa adaka no krampo ye wo metallic, ye wo metal adaka ewo. Hwe enye sa mistake we bi da. Dua de betumi apro within the time frame Okay, but yes, some mistake will be that. So also, oh, papa, no, yes, you can eat a 2% send a new yam to go to a daka. Yeah, that dear, na me can't say me. That dear, it take a lot of time. It won't take 60 years for the body to completely decompose and become earth. What's happened than yes, I see. It will take over 100 years, and during that period, you will see the dead people in your dreams. Woe betides you if you follow these departed souls. Your death is imminent. Woe betides you. Obi a wo departed soul. Na waba odayem. Na onene sri dim komo na wo ba be free. You are joking. You need to understand spiritual matters because they are too complicated to be understood in this physical world. But 13 days are very crucial. A manem paho a bibre madie modie adia moniji hu yefun. So as much as possible you want to honor the dead. And then a Bible no kan Jeremiah 22:10 or say mamunsu for dead body mamunsu no ni okono na monye dey munsu no nia okono. And so you know the reality of the matter is that many of the souls never live and they become earth bound. They become earthbound because when you die, this material world, this physical world cannot contain your soul again. If we are seeing you woman, ain't continue with soul nibiu. Okay, it is ain't to mean continue with soul nibia. You must enter the realm. Okay, that realm, that astral realm outside the earth peripheral, the astral tunnel, it's unipebia wua. We offer some prayers. Prayers na ye offer no. The prayer does not change the deeds of the person. And sisa ni paneni and the papa ni boni oyeye. And sisa nemo yesre boni fache di mat the soul. Se ubi eye ne bonia ni panis sre boni fache. Se yenso oyenye bonia yenso ye de ne boni cheno. Sa adie no ayeye no. It doesn't change anything about the deeds. Na braba obebo ye. But a guide soul no manu locate the astral tunnel. They were free. We are still near the echo. That is when the body has been cremated or has been discarded. So body need a so the more forget it unco. Tie asemna mekano body need a so the more forget it unco. A grace of more how be spiritism sinema mabrabono. You got no idea, especially say yatofu ajawado. Adentina atofu yema body na honje musio adentina yema body na na ye nananum ni muniema bi omuti sumsum niema bi ase etu obi wo tofu wa obuwa kwansie wo ehwa danwa ni esie no. And so ne ave de koto mortuary ya de koto police mortuary ya de ni koyesei yentwen ma ne ba no wa brochire ni mra yentwen na ne nana mra yentwen na ne wo famra sa na body ni da ho atofu eda ho mu 13 days eti ebusia no ye ni wo musia ye no wo mo yesenka Tuesday na etwem na ye pai no no ano yesi oni akwada no. But we are not prepared for that kind of burial. Adaka ebeto ambulance we nina is kasem. It's necessary yema extension of time. And knowing very well say the extension of time, it must not go beyond 13 days. Because after 13, on the 14th day, the astral tunnel is closed. Yes, if you don't know, the astral tunnel is closed. So no soon him said the body in the so enti much rona akuya body in the hono okoho odia konia back and forth baby a oda ya odi free odi wu kura hospital okoho nurse ni bi ene na ni ya obesity wom ye ya ye wo fie obesity ne maame obesity onante sa because the body no onim said that so that ho enti as confused as the soul of the departed person is. We are not doing any help. Anyway, we are rather punishing the soul. If you love your father, you love your loved one. We are anka abruswa 7 hours. Say when we meet Wednesday as a bar, we're going to hold a meeting. so that it is possible to agree and make a decision for cremation. When you are within 6 to 7 hours, you will be burnt and the ashes will be given to your family. And then we can go and pour it into water, we wash away, or whatever we want to do with, blow it in the air, vanish, and the soul will depart within the 13 days. Soul will be free as in swako. Samanya ne sa na mukusie no, eti asiedie bebrebe no, bury bebrebe no, edo how bebrebe aba. Eti Bible no kan mienu. Or say dotie beko dotim, anase enso ebeko enso. That means it can be cremated, anase it can be buried. Burying the corpse, there is no an onion from Sobia, but I'm telling you the realities are easy. The soul is still hanging around. It is a when ya Sobia or born a bra a plisi yankopon. Na so no wa ma papa ye nim. Na so no am prese wa bre ewo ewiase wem. Eti obeko akwa akogina homia. Any soul bia na oye very much attached to the body. Or ye attached to ne honam dress in the sika ne maame ne papa ne bibiano. As I say, so no or hanging around on baby because or you're still interested or you hope we say or besam basa and kwanayimu. Mame mau episode mame fa adewe enchirichirimu. Say why mumu why na otia oko wako secondary school. Even cry your first day at school, Se baby a school emuwa na o mama ne o papa o no na chinefia, you are attached to them, okay? You love them, you care so much about them. So mu koja wo school mu na o mu ja wo ho e de wako efia won se na wenesi atatai na udia ro na owura ho because woni wo montem ye den ete omu ja wo ho every school mu ho omo de wako si secondary school mu ho even secondary school kran me no sa de me feel what they say so no mama no papa no nua no moa atinefia na time aso so obeko secondary school na ye de wako akosi honom na o show manim na omu ja wako na wani agina adentia areho ne kan ye enso so otina school mu wa na wani eba be kan sei pe ube on se afei no onkai efi ofuo biu. It is a breso say a makwan na say free school makofia na wani sa ba bejai o colleagues or classmates because only o matna ma wani aden wani aka. This is exactly what happens when the person dies. You must go and discard the body. You must separate the person from this material life. And my body ne hanging around on this earth peripheral and manin na ho. Because the more that one, or you're still attached to the husband, or you're still attached to the children, or you're still attached to the mommy, or you're still attached to the people that she loved until the body is discarded. Eti modina kwa kwa chef from na mo sisa dotie gunu suno. Afei so no realizes say indeed on your part of you. Okay, that is a consolation. But the reality of metaphysical, knowledge doesn't suggest say or be free one. Say yes, my permanent free in nipem. But baby, you didn't body na kwa kotono obekwa kushim all the quiet, silent, dark, gloomy situation na odaho. So the best practice is to cremate. And it's a obeshi body no. Obeshi no adani ashes. And no dear, there is no attachment or whatsoever. Then we see body need ya automatically within 13 days, after time, because every connection and attachment, you're here free so. And one say ofem no ko, and then 14th day it is closed. So one muscle now within the 13 days no. Na ye two say pe. Obey tormented. Obey nante up and down. Obeko fi. Obeko cemetery ho. Obeko mortuary ho. Obey sanim. Obey nante. Amount for nya money. Ebe assuming an identity. Tie. Mehusamai no. The parties was no more around. The evil spirits will assume their personalities. No more they bow so. omo de ba wo fie ubetumi akosia no wo baabi ubetumi asia no them evil forces will assume because you did not help the soul to depart. It you wonder wo the process in the nka SSA is you, but because you are delaying with the body, the death process is never complete. If you want to know when the death process is complete, it is complete when the body is discarded or cremated. That is when the death process is complete. Otherwise, the soul is right here with you. And evil forces are going to, assume that body. Omo be assume sa nipeduano sa subtle body no me dey money. You can only imagine what will happen to you if you are wearing their clothes, if you are using something that were so attached to it. You can only imagine, especially when it is your friend is saying accidental death or now premature death. You can only imagine. After 13 days, body need our uncle. And Ekuya wewu Vivian oko eyemeya. But se me do Vivian, I will help her to leave this earth. Se ni kunu edona obebwana maniso ne free hanom. No akwa akogina home. Said the American what you see. If so buy no, me madansia me wodie. Wa ma meye boni bia ntia me nene channel asasi so no Vivian ati the American wa anye mini Vivian wasem ba kokura mpo. Said the American what you see. Na sword ni oye no enya sword ni edi nipa eso no eko say eya sword ni a edi nipa no ne nkwa na we free nim. It has nothing to do with salvation. Said the American what you see. It is she can secure her salvation, but she is dead prematurely. Okay. Said the American what you see. It is a yepe Vivian asem na ye dono na rewa ye di nyina no ye peniya exactly 13 days no. As I say, you discard the body, no. A free mortuary, a free baby, or cause assassin, say back into the edge, or you disconnected from us. And so, after 13 days, man cremated body, no, na man discard the body, ni dia. Ye two me say, wabeye edge bound. I just say 40 days, and sana. Ya say be astratana, no, for the next 24 hours. It you can imagine 40 days, that is roughly 1 month 10 days. 1 month 10 days and a year 40 days. And so how many of you kept your dead bodies in the mortuary for 3 months, for 6 months, for 8 months, for 1 year? Mo de yeden se mo be twitwe funu na wiu, se mo be di nam no, se mo de be yen krakra kwan yu, se mo de be de mentem wase e bibifo de ye jimi na nyina e out of ignorance. Nyina e out of ignorance. Eti se 13 days ne so na when free asasi so ankwa, the astral tunnel is closed. And then the soul will have to wait for the next opening, which is the 40th day after the day of the person's death. It is done and nipani wuye no done yesase county and nano. Okay, it is 40th day no so ye be astral tunnel no na wanwurem ankwa because body need so the mortuary wabeye permanently earthbound. Unim permanently earthbound. E come de no. And so onye duane ni sukom de no enso onye nsuo no obre otebre but onye body bia enkodem na watumi arrest ti se ne wo koye adwuma ba na wo rest no the enchi a utumi rest ma wo ye refresh and they say you still have this body eti wo kobre na ba utumi koda agi wa home refresh yourself na wa continue say mamwa so no ama na nko. Someone see body no and see within the time frame no na 40 days ni so panwa wababa ye a restless soul or take come and so only material body no wakodi dia men amane ho atono or tisu come and so only body na wakonum sio amane ho atono or tibre but only body no wakoda amane ho every activity bia ye na asase bia no ono so te Onua onye doteboa. Ononsua onye spiritual we free hako. And why yes saman chen. Do you know what happens? Those souls, tormented souls, no, and they back into ebusiano as serial killers. Mintim. Ebusia bi a mintim sa demon no obeso omne no akata wano no mia no pum. A pese woka Jesus kwa buntumi no. Sa souls no. One more after 40 days. Mam mama modi o mamu ni to mo chi se mo de beye enkate nkwan awe no. Sa departed souls no. And the beye tormented souls, a beye dangerous souls, because the evil forces, they capture these souls, they begin to work on them, and they send them back into your family to come and destroy you. You have no idea what you're dealing with. You won't seek for knowledge. You won't search. You won't ask questions. You won't ask intelligent questions. And yet in them we are still him. It's a busian for until this cremation or burial is complete. The body is going nowhere. Obey earth bound they are. All the torment in any brain or the baby back into the family to destroy. Because no matter how good and kind the soul was during the earth bound period, or you're restless, it will obey dangerous and a weapon in the hands of the enemy. And demons get hold of these departed souls. Now back to the family to destroy your very happiness and your spiritual peace. Now it is a choice you need to make. Are you still going to keep the dead body there, or you simply going to cremate? The best practice metaphysically, yenshi body no yemfa nso no enkugunsium bibia etuatwa. And then after that na yehunu say we are no more dealing with a soul, but we are dealing with ourselves. And if you leave the soul like this, say omen nanti asasine so sa ebusuafo asempa ena ode abefi na saa asem na ode abefi no untumi handle, because software medical culture say nipadua no ye hardware and software e ka say edin semonia, there is no way you can stop it. Eti obia enhyene so emfa emame eti obi wo ho a obeka say oh na yesie ni wie kurampo no me so da ya me hunu wo me dayem ai ube hunu wo dayem because oye earth bound afi kurampo no ubetumi akwamusiye na wahu so many souls na omusu eyenkofo a omabusuafo omo se omo dowo mo no womo adi omo bone omo amoa akra no amoma mfiri asasi so anko enti so a were lifted from the material body no ubi who say, odasone na masasi so, and you keep seeing them in your dreams. Eti se nyankopon ayewadom ama wate asem no America na sedia enna na ebusuafo adia esese yehunu ni say death, the processes of death it ends when all the 5 elements have joined the totality of the universe. And from any woman no adjoining from no. Fire ne woman no adjoining fire no. It and also echo. Okay, is you no so adjoining you. Body need a hoye day. And co joining et no. I'm sorry. Death is not complete. Because so no will never understand say when it does will be say obetumi asan regain ni material body. And on the mouth do ni a man do ubia a man ye bibia, as long as the body is still there, it will try to repossess, although it cannot repossess it because there's already a disconnection, but it becomes a tormented soul. Let me add a little bit to it. Sekobani say ura astrata unim ya cremate no watene wase prayers ɛsɛ sɛ offer empire boy ɛsɛ sɛ yɛ ni nyinaa yɛtumi ayɛ ɛde yama okra no within 13 days we were astratan anim. Once the person gets out of this earth peripheral or ye embrace with heavy light, you know the first event that happens, all the departed ancestors from the family within 15 minutes bemano akwaba bia bisiano man akwaba after say we free we are we era the subtle realm ni mu no the realm, one of the heavens. All the departed souls, it is full of light. Within 15 minutes, they all welcome him. After 15 minutes, that episode is over. Then you are brought before the karmic board. A honum near friend judgment. Na a honum komono main twaso because it will be a very lengthy conversation. Say the death processes no it is so net to me akwadru baby a atemu beden ebekoso ebi obi bebu sase na se papa waka se da onipa bewu no ne poni to atwa ne papa to atwa eti dano a wakwakodina atemu na sisi a woka se all this process no yes se meka se nipa ne papa to atwa ne boni to atwa na ne judgment e yesi that the me partner say ontumi mfa bi nka ne didi ho ontumi nyi bi mfrim. The judgment is sealed, but this is the process the soul goes through. And sana wakujina the karmic board, the judgment of Nipano, and that is another area of study. When I'm done with atofu no minimum ebe discussing. For now, my member fa mo submissions no more questions no. Na minyiano na afei yemfa enko. Is there anybody who would like to make a phone call? Obi pese ofre sim obi timi o pese ofre on WhatsApp. O pese ofre on WhatsApp. Number ben na memfa mamo number ben. Okay, if anybody wants to call in, just give me thumbs up. Now, me make a provision for a phone call. Otherwise, I'm going to read your questions from Ahanum. Na me yi ano. Mamenko esro. Mamenko sro na menko shasiye. Free a honum. Mamenko sro na menshasiye. Kayedi said nursing is a dangerous work indeed. Of course. Atapokwa say God have mercy on us. Onoasu say rooted teachings. Hey, yes. Mame Edugre say wow, very powerful message. Atapokwa okay. Omo Alachemi said they are interested in the 8 fundamental elements additional. Mame Edugre said, very serious, Muslims are right. Yes, to a large extent, they are the best as compared to Christians who love dead bodies and would die as well. Atapuko say, hey, dead, but not dead in the grave. Yes, exactly. Believe it or not, this is the reality of the metaphysical world or the subtle realm. Na ihun yekoso ewo sunsumu eto de bi na me the direction bi ba obi nim ni entia direction ba most of the directions no this material world no ewo niema bi wo a ewom a etumi ye niema bi eti se me the direction beto ho a me pato no abu mi kakra no ati ma no asem na wa bomodin aye ebeboa o Ishiraba Sami music say dead. Okay, Atapuko say God bless you for the in-depth knowledge you embody, Pastor Ben. Amen. And Ishiraba say, really? Yes, like really, like seriously. Linda texting says, what happens when someone died and you keep his picture? Please. This is a very interesting question, and I would like to address it briefly. The habit of keeping dead people's pictures. I told them, you go to the house, now they are on the walls. The question I ask is, did you cremate the body? If you cremated the body, if the body went under cremation, no wahala. But as long as the pictures are there, and you fail to bury the person within the time frame that must be done, then the appearance in the house is very, very common. Well, say if you be wohona ubi wu free moi, independent to mean to them. On ten penny sembla, and that's all be seen. To mean to them, Massa. Some of the ways are ibinum fast wound, they are so terrible and painful, say they become so vengeful and bitter. And so you can't even dwell in their homes. That's the truth. I will not advise you to keep pictures of the dead person on your walls. Say, I won't advise you to do that. There is no bond between Unis and Nipano, Job kind, a Twitter, Odoni Twitter, Bibia Twitter, Dotier Echo Dotim, and Sonko. Discard anything and everything, burn it. That is why you need to burn the clothing. Nenyama Sininara, Sino cremation is the way to go. Segana for Mubetemia in most developed worlds, US, India, most developed worlds, they understand as someone making it. They won't waste time between 6 to 7 hours. Ombeyo mu praise no bibia, no mako cremate body no, omasino. Asesino, Ugana near the Frabru. Now the body, the soul has no business to stay here. It has no ocean. I feel obey clearly the astral tunnel. Now we firm every we mu echo. So it's not advisable to keep the pictures around you. They may create very bad energies for you. You should do away with them. Aisha says, this is serious. No wonder. That is why I used to see my uncle who died many years ago in my dreams. This is great knowledge from you, Papa. God bless you. Amen. Bless you too. Serious power from Inshiraba. Inshiraba said, wow, this word is very dangerous. It is very dangerous. Especially when you're friendly now, Nemudia. Very dangerous for you. Mami Edugre said, lack of knowledge, my people perish and pa. Inshiraba say, sure says, Inshiraba, your mommy and your sister, why? I Edugre a your mommy. Winning Ninjina or Cassis, no. I do grace a young mommy. So if a soul is earthbound, how does heaven or hell come into play for that soul? This heaven and hell, Adisiano, Revelation 6:7. And Mame Rita, I'm going to do a very deep teaching on heaven and hell. You see, hell is a spiritual realm. Heaven is a spiritual realm. I am making summarized statements down. You can jot them down. Hell is a spiritual realm. Sansuna heaven is a spiritual realm. Both of them are subtle realms. So no anye papa. This discussion betwa cosmic after sending panura astratan in muno. And a heaven and hell additional ebeba. And I'll be so deep say obetin ye maybe I say. Because reincarnation, people don't believe it. It is right there in your scriptures. Who is reborn? Life hereafter, no, it is saying, I will take time to explain what happens when the person leaves the earth. My name is Fonko Yebe, intended for additional dia, media makati, but se would see now person free simu dia, give me notification. Na me accept okono because me connect phone biama production no for now. Eti hell any heaven no. Say Bible na ka say obi wu a de oye papa no obeko hell. De oye boni no obe de oye papa no obeko heaven. The oye bonino obeko hell. It is very true. But a near maybe a process. Okay, a process. A near maybe see in the subtle realm and sana hell and heaven asemna bem. It is a hell ne heaven asemna bebe mua. That is when the person, the departed soul, has entered through the astral tunnel. May the Bible be chirimua ma what you see. It is for now. Let me make these summarized statements down. Heaven, you can heaven. A spiritual realm. Hell, also a spiritual realm. That is why the subtle soul and our body no are a free so okra na free munu etumiko either of the places. And before the soul will go to either of the places, no, it depending on the judgment. Which soul no I go through. Now, Rita Busa says soul no be 8 pounder. How does judgment or hell and we come through? Now, this is what happens. Onipa bi a otina asase so hu onyankopon. Na osum yi. Na oye papa. Na koma. Anye attached to this material world. Na ebra otiase no or prepare for life eternity no. Those souls, they never become earthbound. Do you know what happens? The moment they die, they know say omo di omo bre abanewi ye. It is those people, they want to go in peace. They want to go and rest. It is they have no time wasting. Only say they will hang around until say mercy no. Until say maye neyi baby amode ni body beto baby amode eti na me say yen atiasefo no ese say ye boa departed souls no not the death process no ending. When does it end? It ends when the body has been discarded. Yeah, just for this say boa. But you said the American what you see. It's Bible no can say so be wuni and pa say nipa no ese upon bampo so won faso say no. Yeah, just for you be seeing pa is saying discard the body. Make sure you get rid of the body. Let it not lie in any morgue. Okay, best practice cremate it. Janokwai onko. All right, but interestingly, one more bobra pani nyina they don't have material attachment. Okay, because even when they were alive, but they are not attached to money, they are not attached to their girlfriends, they are not attached to their husband, even though they love them. Was prepared for life eternity. And those people, after 14, 13 days, go through the Tanumpa. 40 days, do you know what they do? They live in peace. No more body na mamo. Monfanya ni amope. Because no baby papa or kwakojina home. And that is why those people live in peace. Eti Yesu basa asiso no. Wanye bonida. Uwu yo sorry yeno. Or certain principle ne say 40 days time ason. And so free material world way. Not enter the skies. Na oko baby you free by asum game. This is what happens to good people, righteous people, those that die in the Lord. Every earth-bound soul, take this from me, is a soul that did not receive salvation. And that is why demons and any evil forces, they use those souls, tormented souls, against humanity. Omo ne babe ye demons, was as so. One be doing some money, almost joining the dark world. No matter be doing some money. It's mame reta ubisaya. That is it. Into those earth-bound souls, said the last trumpet, es sound here. Na obadia ya we ewufua ewu radimu eko. Na your friend is saying, one more etias asiso they are raptured. Let me tell you, that is when they are going to face heaven. Or omo hell. There's no heaven for them actually. That's when they are going to face omo hell. It will be saya in chirimua betumi dia no. I believe say when we begin to delve into what happens when the soul departs, okay, ufri asasi sukwa during that lesson episode obeche asiye eyi. Linda text said, is it true when somebody died the ancestors give them chair to sit on. No, there is no chair sitting because it is a 15-minute welcome. That is, if the person enters the astral tunnel after the 13 days, within the 13 days or the 40-day, 24-hour ultimatum. It is a 15-minute episode, just a very short moment, all right? And then they all vanish from the scene. And then there is going to be your spiritual guide who is taking you or bringing you before judgment. The cosmic board is like a screen. You see yourself from the day you were born. You will see everything. You will see. You see. And you will pass judgment on yourself. It is interesting when you have revelation of these mysteries. And I believe, say, when I get to that episode, Obeche and Semno Asi Eyi. Bebajo, me hear more questions na me to me. Ano ede amamo. I me hear more questions na me to me. Ano ede amamo. Muamu Facebook, mubeti mu de more questions aba. Afi YouTube nso mubeti mu ede more questions aba. Na me ano kama ansana ma so because time no ekoyi papa almost 3 hours. Time no koyi papa.
Adiachi, Missy you be already more. Na say baby so. Ifenya kuponko alini. Adiachi yo, ampa adiachi yo. Enyina na yakasorio. Ifenya kuponko alini. Adiachi yo mama, ampa adiachi yo. Adiachi yo. Kuponko alini. Zinamidi ya Messi. Misumidachi. Misumidachi.
Ubia Misumidachi.
Mama Yesu ya dachi wati. Mama Yesu ya wiyo. Say baby Mama Yesu ya dachi wati. Mama Yesu ya wiyo. Ampa diachi yo. Enyina na diachi ye. Na say baby party, Mama Nyanku Ponko Alini.
Bomodi and like a transmission, mommy.
Yanina na diachi, say baby, Mama Nyanku Ponko Alini. Daddy Unkwana Wunimudia, with the Meosha was so. My bravo, you know, so. Biquayina, so. Daddy Unkwana Wunimudia, with the Meosha was so. I am my bravo, you know, so. Because you know, so I will say, say, baby, party. One any more say, baby. Why didn't him say, baby? Why didn't him go be a CC? You go through the process. Baby, stress to marry you. Oh, Mama, yes, you are dachi, what? Yes, you are. Obia sora na pahima wakrasa okwa obesa bedufia semi yangu ponkwa obia sora na pahima wakrasa okwa obesa bedufia semi yangu ponkwa etipita kansembi sister pita kansembi wanche kwa na yenko dadi wanche kwa na yenko unawo wadan kwansem say baby so dadi ukwane woni ifti ebesi mi senyo ai baby mi senya semwe wine anymore mama nyanku ponkwane nim nti de bia masemuni ana baby ya medie biso sumeri Mama Yesu ya dachi wati Kristo ni abodua he ja kaye yo aba o Kristo ni abodie mama jadia we wati esu dachi suwari yo o Kristo ni a utumi ya ka he ampa ja kaye mama ja donko yinom na adaji masiha.
Okay, Nsembisani bi aba. Mami Inyano Rachel Dede Tete live on Facebook. Eye minu abema odimechi ne hokani. Omo free United States aba. Je o ma home kakra. Rachel akwaba. Osai Patrick ewo France ono so echi. Nanaya Odiodu is watching live from London. Nanaya eti saying mete wonka ache papa. I mete wonka ache one oyere. I believe say moho eye. My main questions are about YouTube no nafi. This is from Meyeri Penny, Mrs. Flores. Also, as I say, this is what real men of God are supposed to teach. Unfortunately, not many are real, and so they are unable to discuss subtle matters. As a matter of fact, you need to be devoted to the things of God. You need to actually sacrifice yourself and deny yourself a lot of pleasures to be able to reach the level of subtlety. And this idea, Didier Bibri, sex Bibri, and Nam Bibri, Titiru, and Nam Bibri, it numbs your sensitivity. Until revelations be over, you won't be able to simply understand. Okay, Yanko, Linda Texan is asking, why do you celebrate 1 year death so? I think, say, Mame Perpetua is also asking the same thing. Please, is it biblical to celebrate 1 year when someone dies? Me pacho is absolute nonsense. That 1 year no amade bese ono. When we say owu ono, ne niema bi na oja wachire no. On person mo twenya after 1 year. Eno na mabusiafo no ekobo edwa no masiam say oh ya ba be kind of fees ya na. I mean, if you want to hold a memorial service for a departed soul, the question I ask myself is, your soul no departing is actually we free we asi we muko. It's a question you need to answer. Only wabusiapeni munyi sa question na no. Okra na momo ko celebrating 1 year no. Listen to me. There is no biblical precedent for 1 year celebration. Okay? When a person dies, we have up to 40 days to finish every ritual, everything that must be done. We have up to 40 days. Yedina that we are, it is finished. So now person holding memorial service and our person kind of, that's fine. And just memory. But there is no relatively, mass existence in this earth peripheral, there be. It makes your soul has really departed. Because what you people call departed souls, many of them are still here. They are earthbound. They are not departed. And that is the reality. With the upper to attain a higher level of spirituality, you will understand as someone making. To attain a higher level of spirituality. You don't eat every day to get there. You don't drink every day to get there. There's so much you need to know about Iwiasi, especially the earth, Mother Earth. To reach that spirituality. It's absolute nonsense to be doing this 1 year, No, it isn't biblical. There's no biblical precedence for that. We only have a biblical precedence for 40 days, and that's it. I've heard people say that someone some people who died, someone died and came back to life again. The subject of reincarnation or rebirth, it will be discussed in another episode. That's so no empenia pa say utumi free this earth. Okay, this earth. Say ebusuafo na ni na bro no to me free this earth. Imukwa. Not judgment, good and bad. Take place. We will discuss there, heaven and hell. Then we will discuss there, reincarnation, as to whether it is possible for somebody to come back to life. There are mysteries in this lifetime you must know. It's a Bible, no, we have you as your headlines, your snippets. Okay, you need somebody to disintegrate and break the subtle, revelation to you. Now, wait to me at you say, Linda, let's wait for that episode. It will come, and you will fully understand yourself. The question says that, what do you do when you see dead person in your dream? If you keep seeing that person in your dream, wahala for you. It is all shroud, gloomy, darky around you. There is nothing interesting about seeing somebody dead. Oh, me so Diana, me mami friend to me fita na wishrame and all of that. Let me get there and explain to you. It will be in another episode. Obechi asiye eye. Linda texts and say, in my role, I have come across a patient and he said to me, he died in 1881 and he came back to life. He was able to describe his time 1881 story before he died. It was very scary. Is it true? It is 100% true. I've just said it is 100% true. But how it comes about, until I open you up, you won't get it. Thank you very much. It's very true. Where do you maybe my 3 hours? Maybe just 10 minutes. Maybe take questions, submissions. Na maybe asemno abenewiye. Misu midachi, me dream mewiye. Yenti debra me de train questions. Finally, na my signing off.
Adiachi, Missy you be a ready more, na say baby so. Adiachi, Ampa Adiachi, Enina Nayaka Sorio. Isanya Kubongo. Adiachi, Mama, Ampa Adiachi, Adiachi. Zinamidia, Missy, Missumidachi, Missumidachi, Media Missumeri. Mama yesu ya dachi wati. Mama yesu ya rio. Say baby ah.
Mame Mercy. This is coming from Edugrid. Papa, please, we are ready to learn more. Thank you for your readiness to learn. Mame Mercy, what mama feel, what mama diare was. I've been trying to get in touch with you. Only Mebra Collins. Every effort has proved futile. I am very, very, very happy and excited. Say, Mate onka ene edei. It has really relieved me of the stress and all the squams that were running through my mind. Echima Messi nyami insirao. Or say, Evan, our pastor, this is really, really important message. Thank you very much, and God bless you. And bless you so much for coming online. So I will hear from you. I am watching Mebra Collins, so Eddie Amami. Watching say, my friend, papa. It's out of the busy schedule, so no, I'm finding a way to say hello so that I will catch up with him as well. As we say, this is a very important message. You haven't heard anything yet. In fact, this is just the death process. The initial process. Initial process. The next phase is more intriguing. The next phase is more revealing. The next phase is very dramatic, and that is where a lot of you are going to face issues. Echi obade yadumwa ochina enyumri. Metu kwan ahomachin but obade yadumwa enyumri. Entwase nonsomo no na mababedu. And I'm going to take time and break it down. Down. Echi nyankopon yadumwa ochina no yebehwe atofu. Now it's a little bit delicate and complicated because it's a different ball game altogether. We are the 5 elements acting against the living person. Sa elements ni nyina ewu mu, but they are fighting against you because somebody has orchestrated. Obi are orchestrating or were invoking those elements against you because you decided to do evil to that person. And answer be a woman, you decided to do evil. At the end, amount survivability, amount ye living being. Sad ye no amount to meet us as you by your deeds, by your actions, and on your friend with the law of nature. Massa, and on as a mekasa me bonnet offer a beye diabo. It's your body adma or china mixre at the end we are. Universally obia ya boni dua unim se nipa no a enya dia mema kwan amani panaba me ho. But then I will do the recording. I will hear from him at the akwakoto yen Telegram platform so. Okay, die empty. I must die empty. I must tell the world. Let them know omonyi omokrankwa because o sevu no hu free duabo a ebia. Okay, my brother has come about here or say heaven our home. God bless you, Pastor. Brother Collins, only my mercy, Mama so papa. I've been damn and dead worried about both of you because I tried as much as possible say Matemonka. Nyamisha say Mama Matemonka and Yumri. Eyeme de pa se matemo nkanyumre pa echi no obade ya domo a biwie otena de sua no a ade a ye frɛ ne duabo emebi si wabusua mu da de efa wo premature death say ye nkwansia wu say ye de ebeba obehu. There are signs they just don't come. There are signs one say homeda na etwam ne yesua de bi ene ye ka say onyankopon enye bribi. I just said, what dying the Gina Eddie actually nkuwa edifo. It's all these elements, out of 8, 5 and a working against Inipa, 5 and a working for Inipa. It's when they begin to work against you, there will be signs. Signs, actually say, Ebia Yariana o femuno, Eyeduabo, and I say the forces and the elements of this world, and then the woman is acting against you. Ebanisa universally the mechire it's just unfortunate say adia mo behia no mo amwa mano ne mo nsase empe echira kwan. Okay, adia mo behia they revoke any duabo anything sebano elements in the working against you obi di nsuo abodua obi di eja fire abodua sene beya obi wa the car unhu ne be electrical for na eje dem buhunu na siom dworo be each one of them ye charge omuma fire echi sane manua etutu nipa wasase su nyina ensikwa bibie nuwa esikwa ni nyina eye orchestrated in the subtle realm and the metaphysical realm the friend susum we see and I say outside the earth peripheral and no they are orchestrated from there. Somebody can invoke Isio, obitume invoke Asasi, obitume invoke Ida. That means lighting Irem. And Agrada will be electric post. Now you're kicking, a whole lot of things. Obitume invoke, your friend is saying, and Frama against you. These elements are very powerful and very dangerous. When somebody invokes them, Obia Onimna Quine, or invoking them against you. Echina debia meka say me yo boni me mfa boni susu as much as possible. Even when you are doing me evil, I will pay you with good. But is your tie upon chireninia or jewo se bibia nkoka papa enyi chirede until entesu to koko ebi wo bi enum nenso ye jai etifita jisa o mo bitin tesu koko echirewa asemaranko. Try to be a good person. Be a nice person. It doesn't hurt to be a good person. On the day of the burial, I have prepared a mind-boggling message. those who haven't given their lives to God after listening to me, you would just have no option than to give your life to Christ. Because this is a certainty. We will all go through the process, but how are you going to go through this process? What are the preparations you're making towards it? Make time for Ochina Adisiano. Remember to like and share if you haven't done so. This is coming for Inshiraba. God bless you, Papa. Bless you too. Auntie Grace said, Papa, please. My various question. Well, I think it has been an oversight. I'll go back and get it. Linda texts say, is it true that there is angel in the form of human being on earth? Ebano, the subject of angels are. Let me put it there. Lynn, young fancy fridge. Okay, let me jot it down. Ebano, the subject of angels are. The book of Enoch, a lot of exposition. We also have the forgotten books of Eden, the lost books of Eden, and we have the Apocrypha. I think I've loaded all those materials on the platform. If you get to read those books, it gives you insight. And then the 6 and 7 books of Moses, that one is most of they are very powerful, and they are more or less enchantments or incantations, words put together are a costly mass and a costly event to happen. It's all of this, before you become a servant of God, as I said, rather prepare or you're spiritually worthy to handle all these matters. The topic of angels, Mame entron to her. My register it down. We will deal with it in the course of this series, because the spirit of death, there is an angel that is responsible for that. And when you see all these messengers of death, angels, okay? And in this world, yes, we have human angels. The Bible has clarified that. It's a 10 minutes na me de man. I think say asampa ho 3 minutes. Say obiwo asembisebia. As I wrap up with tonight's message, obi to me edia ba se me hu ni ntem enya. No, let me go and pick various question. I think say, what do you do when you see dead people in your dreams? Seeing dead people in your dreams is bad news. It means that they are earthbound. Whatever reason that they are earthbound, I think the family members can explain to us, because most often than not, they don't go through the process of ending the death process. If you want to end the death process, you know how to end it. It doesn't end the day the person died. It ends with finally disposing of the body, cremation or burial. If you bury, it will take 60 years. 60 years or more, depending on the climatic condition of the country. And sana body now you fully decompose into earth again. It means that much time, the departed, the so-called, in quote, departed soul has not departed all around. And that is why the executives, we're going to meet and make a very important decision. A very important decision. Whether to bury or to cremate. And if we're going to cremate, how are we prepared to respond to family members who have so many issues? And that can only be resolved when I open up. Sanya mani nyina ibetumi adi atum dia. Aje se mebie moni akyerɛkyerɛ moni ekoso. Ansana meni umienu yetumi adi atum ne ayene ebema ye ho atoyen. But concerning seeing the dead in your dreams, medebeshe obwadi yadma ochina, because enkomo kakra ewo ho. I just cannot give the direction. Trust, I need to explain few things. I'm a teacher, so it's important for me to explain few things. This is coming from Emmy. Who is this Emmy? Or say, please tell us what we will need for that direction so we get prepared. Thanks. The Nameka say, Otsena, we know you should start making arrangement. Mame kunedu se wo wa me ma baako. Afi Janet abna keko me ma onsadie na me beka ho asem no so baako. Ye friend no tender stone when say agrada no idwa edibu bi ba edi akuma bi eba wa wonim ade adekodi American ho asem no. Okay, let me see if I can quickly show it to you. Let me see if I can quickly show it to you. Beba, let me see. I think I still got the image.
Adiachi. Adiachi, ampa adiachi, enina na yadasorio. Isanya kubongo. Adiachi, mama, ampa adiachi, adiachi. Tinamidia messi. Misumidachi, misumidachi. Mama yesu ya dachi wati. Mama yesu ya wiyo. Say baby, Mama yesu ya dachi wati. Mama yesu ya wiyo. Ampa diachi, enyina na diachi ye. Na say baby party, mama nyanku ponko alenim. Ampa diacho, yenina na diachi ye. Say baby, mama nyanku ponko alenim. Daddy unkwa na wuni mudia, medeme usha unso. Mabra bonyina wonsem, mikwa nyina nsu wonsem. Daddy unkwa na wuni mudia, medeme usha unso. Aye mabra bonyina wonsem. Because na nsuwa wonisem say very party one any mo say very already ukwana wonim nti de bia masemuni anapebia midumi ebisuesu mewie yo bisumeri mama yesu ya dachi wati yensu ya wiye yo media bisumeri Obia sora na pahima Wakrasa opava Ye obesa bedrufi asemi Yanku ponko aninim Obia sora na pahima hima Wakrasa opava obesa bedrufi asemi Yanku ponko aninim Eti Peter can send me Sister Peter can send me One chain kwa na yenko Daddy one chain kwa na yenko Unawo wadan kwa sem Say baby, so that you go on with you. If you ever see me saying you, I baby me saying the same way. Wine anymore, wine anymore. Mama Yakupon, wine him. And see the bia, Massamuni, and a baby, be so, Mary. Mama yesu ya dachi wati Kristo ni abodu ya he jaka ye yo baba o Kristo ni abodu ye mama jadia gwe wati esu dachi suwawi yo o Kristo ni a utimi ya ka he ampa jaka ye mama ja donko yinom na adaji masiha Yensu ya dachi, yensu ya wiye yo Besimi wa simbisabi, be wa simbisabi wati Bebisati efonyina, bebisati efonyina Bekasa ye kochufu braso no Asemi si chufu braso Bekaya na ye misuye, bekaya na ye misuye MPB mami uye, ekoto dumu wa ye nasi Baby sa simbi say, Empi baako na okasanti ekasanti wanti asie masem bisenyi na nyina masem bisenyi na ni se mami na wudawe yo why na betu waso otina why na bi why na ni mo si why na ni wati uni ma peja won sawati ye ne kasanti wanti asie empi baako peja ni so amba peja ni sa aso why na ni ne bewie why na ni besitina asemwe ni pebia ni muda yanku pongwa ni ono kwa ni mudia beka ye homa ye nsomono beka ye homa ye nyamia ye beka ye homa ye nsomono ono kwa ni mudia bra beka ye ho wati ye ma yesu nyanku pong mama ma yesu nyanku pong ono kwa ni mudia abebe wie miseni wine ni wamba ye mi free me mo frasifa.
All right. Tender stone no ebi eni. Just look on your screen. This is a tender stone. It comes in different shapes, different colors, and so I need you to look at it carefully. A very, 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 very important. Say utie me, we nipa dasani. Now ye pathway bar. Tender stone no mesro say obemo modinya. Na wenya both the male and the female. It comes in different shapes. Some of them are big, some of them are small. Now, in this picture, there is nowhere between a differentiating. But modern say, oko market be. O say, ana try say, obe odabi. Minim opa, samopa wohu, mopa. Mon frère evangelist Samuel Nyako ene sofo yaro, okay. Omonko kaswa, mon face omoso. Na omompe tender stones nubi. All right. Sisi ade media no kwasem ni ebreni adaje eni me ho. Anase wo busuani bi a wabagana. O de ompe tender stone ni bi. So ho na omfanye den. Emmane ho. Eno ne ade a you going to require, because when the 5 elements no a yedi ni pedua no, when they are invoked against you, adia ubi here the other your friend is saying your for no tender stone near ye eater no and no must say nina come into play. Ebeba fire ebeba tender stone beba na afe machiremo how you can revoke. You don't need and says will call your friend is saying bosom ko ensio ko adekodia yediboduano. You don't need to go there. You don't need to see any pastor. Sit in the comfort of your home. But direction now, just do it. It will break one time. The fuasi say Ninasia tatai wa no aka 7 days. Yamedu test nina messengers of death nina abba. People are sensing death around him. Don't worry. You have nothing to worry about. Odia Shase say, oh, she tender stones, no male and female nature queen. All right. Nefato on chain. And yet they are okay. Who is this Emmy? I don't know the real ID. But was sending me, okay, Mamini Ewo, Amfe Amazon. Ebi ho Mamini free telegram na. Memfa or the Ebia sending me a telegram. Memfa enonso. Enka ho emamuna muhu ni Thunderstone. Okay. Let's. Oh, okay. Emily. Oh, okay. Minuaba Emily. Rade Ankra. Yasemu. Sister Mpacho Empumu Chisenyo. Afina wama mehu ID no. I mostly see that ID and I am not able to. Okay, mame enlarge image. Send a beya, ni. Okay. I quote too much. Just a minute, please. Okay, encore crasa. On your screen, and the thunderstorm one will say, okay, now I will differentiate it for you. Dear a year dark no a unisano ni ye tuntum ewumuno eye bema. Okay. When we say to the be a pictures, you don't as no be any the TV color mix ne ade engine and make say you should tell nipa na auto no say ope bema bema no na yede edani duabono obani de mechire de yede later. Saushe image ya a was on say on your left hand no bako edda in fifi sa ayene want to say gray be minim uTV ne so sene color ne bekono but omo amutie no radio so ne de agese munya kasafoni no enu mu na beboa why Facebook no ni ma pathway to having church, YouTube a pathway to having international church obenya message tuntum no eye bema ena ne aye no wuti se green no eye oba oba no nie so oba no nie so hwe we a wo hwe de media to si a ase ba ku wiewia ye tuntum kakra ena ba ku nsu wiewia eye ase green bi sa no wo de the screen nsu sesi a no hwe ni din ba ku ye tuntum sin ba ko okay tuntum pa no eye bema ena de ayet ne ho te se ne yejeje no a eye eno so ye oba now I think you can differentiate between the two. Me hu say Amazon ubetumi or Debbie na enye Amazon yes Amazon ubetumi order eye very very important say if ye piano obenya saade bi wom ne yemechire no se unkodi bonipo e maye modu ya kai se wo faase bi ebetumi akwa akofu obi kunu amaya bonidua onana bi betumi akowiade amaya bonidua and in fact obia oye obusuani betumi akwa akofa duabo abefi ho duabo nso eba na wana ne no a ebe kamu nyina one by one especially say ye emabusuan no a iti mesremu enidiem eniado se momfa asemi asempa na pay attention to obade yadmu a otsina adisua no se ne be ya munyina mo betumi asua enya nimde no na aboa ama abrabomu obi ensisiu eti we ne ade a mompe ekira kwan all right titiri mu amwa ma ne magana for ne die ochina no pe ya ubetumi akwabonten na osi they can also order from ETSY also na ETS1 eye esi anase itse EDS1 no Priscilla again Prissy yes it's been a while pastor. My question is, how do you sense if the dead comes to visit the place it used to live? Would they visit in the form of animals or what? No. I'm going to reserve this question for tomorrow. I will open my conversation tomorrow with this question. Mame Priscilla, Mame Nuchi question now because Adisiano ekwechiri papa mensusu se ebechesa. Eti mami noti o question it down. Obadi yadumoa. The visitation of the dead, there are many ways you can use to tell or indicate. You need to be very sensitive. But then there are few tricks made to me achiremo na aboa ama yadisua na wi pay. Thank you, Papa. This is from Linda, and God bless you. Bless you too. Upon one him said, God bless you very much for this revelation, Papa. Amen, and bless you too. And then Vera says, thank you, Papa, for answering my question. Yes, Obadi Yadunwa, people appearing in your dreams, dead people appearing in your dreams, they are earthbound souls. In fact, those souls that are earthbound, your directions are ye betumi aye. See the American directions are ye betumi aye. Yeah. When next somebody dies around the neighborhood or the community, nipa ni free no. Na astra tunnel no ibia. Because of those directions, no eboa emasa so na wabe edba no tumi free muko. Eventually. Okay. Sa direction nso ewo ho. But like I said, I know the directions when you're spiritually strong and unimo left and right and same be to me at all. It's no dear. Metre all right, but I will leave it for those omujidi say omonyini wo for the sake of asofo ni binomo a omowo ni pati omonasia omuhu ni omonye no metre se ne be ya oye sofo a onso ubetumi achire womano na waji omafri ohaw ne amanim enti senenso efama me Linda texting says, what about the dead person? What about if the dead person is cremated after 1 month? Does it mean they are still bound on edge? The attorney say after 1 month, let us say first 13 days period, no ekem. 1 month, after 1 month, if it is cremated, it will not be edge bound. So say you are still within the 40-day period. 1 month, no, 30 days. Counting from the day a nipa ni day iwuye. All right. It from the day a nipa no iwuye, medically declare ni there for no. Na elements ni sa si free ni muno. That day no and now sa si accounting. In the case of Vivian, on the 15th of July, no free. It is our 15th, no, day 1, day 2, 16th. It's in the 13th day, no, ECOC 28. Okay, it's 28, once we get rid of the body, it's done. It, so after 1 month, if you cremate the body, it will not be edge bound. It will definitely have no option than to use the 40th day 24-hour ultimatum na or the free assassin so echo. Edu Nana says, why did you not include blood in the element for the formation of the body? Blood is not an element. Okay? Take note. The fundamental elements and yankopon di ye if we are seeing blood and count. All right? The formulation of blood, if you ask a biologist or a dietitian, they will tell you how blood is formed in your body. All right? It's, Mr. a different subject. Blood is not part of the element. Edu nana ena ebusa sa question. So that is for your information. Edu nana. Blood is not an element. All right? Okay. So Vera Mankwa says, Sister, thank you for reminding Papa for my question. Mame Pepe Toban says, Papa, please advise me what to tell my family head who is waiting for me and my siblings to come home to celebrate my mom's 1 year celebration. You don't need to take any advice. Just tell him you won't come because there's no point. After this addition, just tell him you are not coming. And yadi awoba. It is omun to be in celebrity. Don't go anywhere. Don't buy tickets. Don't do anything. Don't waste money on unnecessary things. If you have that kind of money, they bring it to me. Why, Mr. 1 year celebration is not biblical and it is absolute nonsense. If you know the realities of the subtle realm. Mame Priest say, it's been a while, Pastor. My question is, how do you say? Okay, I think I've answered that question. Kwesi Tebi says, God bless you, Papa. Afraid maybe na yebe. Oh, any other question? Fabre me ewo WhatsApp line so. Be see the next episode. May questions na no answer na matwaso. Sabre die me de adusenum nyina eba na wiye. Die me de twa to ni. Death does not happen in a day. Just as birth does not happen in a day. Before somebody is born in a day, it's a process. Before somebody is declared dead, physically and metaphysically, it's a process. They don't happen in one day. It is as I see so and who say depend every year. It is not like that. And on a Mashashi Abemu said the process of death begins with the messengers of death, and it ends with cremation of the body. Mame Presa says, and please, when someone is about to die, does nature give a sign like a strong storm with tenders? There are events like that, but some kind of events, are mostly around premature death. And as our science neighbor, it's your body yaduma ochina adisuano ebebua amawate ehono ase. Thank you. So wrapping up, death does not happen in a day, just as birth does not happen in a day. This is episode 1 of the death series, and it has to do with the process of death, or the death process, the stages of death each and every one must go through. Remember, when the angels or messengers of death visit you 1 week before your declaration of death, there are signs. Those signs point you to a point. That will be when you know now papa we no was asiso doswa. We betumi age we free o monsem. Ama watumi atena say adi enchene kakra. Mesere onyankopon say enwumre huhumu nsem a nanka esuma ama bibibi so edi asase e kire wo no omo a ona ti ase ne yi hantan to baabi ne yi dwesem eto baabi. We are all here. We don't know everything. If you think you know everything about this world, you are joking. Me, I keep learning, I keep discovering, I keep seeing, and I keep having visions and revelation of things. Ebano habaya, I didn't know them. A gradual process. Don't try to be a hero. You don't know it all. Misuya die oso yire hune suya die minimu no suya free me ho die wonso nim no mesuya efri ho so okotu se opani bi e kasa anonim difu bi anonyansani bi e kasa wo platform bi so ana baby na obetimi esuya bibi efri mu a men kasa medie enye sofo Bernard na e kan mintie da bi men kasa nimdie ye fafri no emia bebre. Only be careful where you get your knowledge from, because enkofu bi Satan endim nkofu bi wa prepare nkofu bi a ogidie no mukura no enye obade e wogidie, but ensem ya making obekone say yesu nsuma asemunti no omunsunim. The source of your information is also crucial. The direction nipa ne de bema no, if the source is not from God, you are in for hell. So in as much as you are acquiring knowledge, you must be mindful and careful where you gather the knowledge from, especially when it comes to directions. Radinti na nimchire yina onom no nka ye ho. Ebra yere tied to our chambers yi. Oma ne humobro ne Bible no nye kese wo yeso. Na efutusem ne kokobon sema abani ne anibia be yina no yentumi fananti obra kwanchi mu. When it doba Yeshua di munti, a didi fu nyina enye meso. Amen pa.
Yes, unkani pawompo. E panusa na wajinjina yo bibi. E yasu sujini yo. Yehowa umu eni mabi yo. Kai mse inso shia. E butum kuntumino. E nyami de o kan di kora wenzo shia na butun konto mere peche enso shia kroya ya di kosia tumo ay din achamani so biazu ni din ni nyami o
wo papa ntumi antene wo sofo ntumi antene wo mampani kura no wo hia tenatene. Make no mistake, Obra and Wabo. What you do today is what you do. Sunday, I'm so no. You open away.
Yes, Sujinio, Yehovah, and my baby.